deal with those annoying black mirrors. Even though you can, run up to them and melee them now and, shatter the glass and make it a little bit easier to work around. And theoretically, you don't always have to go through that full annoying process of clearing it all out. But more often than not, a mirror window can make or break the round for an attacking or defensive team. So glad to see her off the board, and well, glad to see that we are starting things off in a more unusual bomb site, Benny. We're actually going to be kicking things off with a mining and dining defense rather than any of the other bomb sites that we've grown a lot more accustomed to.
Yeah, I would say I haven't casted a mining fireplace, mining dining defense in a while, actually. And usually because of the fact that, again, it's having firm control of piano, or the fact that if you have control, if you can at least clear out piano, gain control of that red stairs, open up in the site, and then just either, deny, plant, deny, rotates through the windows, or if there's some other angle, it can be very easy to get that bomb down for the attackers. So really, based on Achieve now, Achieve have to basically control that piano for as long as possible, and make sure that he uses vertical pressure against the attackers if they were to get into train, if or not train, into mining, if it is going to be a mining execute. Depends here. Usually that's why we don't see this bomb site all that often. But we'll see how Achieve do it here, as they're going to be the ones defending this. And of course, they're setting up a piano. They're setting up a defense upstairs, a cigar as well. So they're trying to even use some of those cigar defenses you see on that top floor for this site.
Well, also for the attacking side, this site opens itself up to a lot of potential rush attempts, right? You just jump on through that mining window and bam, you're in the site and you can get aggressive. And I mean, Dunny is playing the Finca, so that option is theoretically still on the board for Incontrol. I don't expect them to be doing that. They're probably going to take a bit more of a controlled approach, especially because you take a look at the amount of soft breach that this team has at their disposal. You see Badger bringing out the skeleton key on the Buck. You've got Tack on the Zofia again. I mean, you've got so many elements that would work well for a full top-down clear, and it does appear that Incontrol will be getting things off and starting things in kind of the way you would expect.
Well, so far they're on those windows by piano. Members also going towards the cocktail side as well. Most of the defense are pushing towards or on that, piano side, though. You see good intel coming through, seeing one by pillars. He's going to pre-fire heavy damage onto Riot. Great intel and great pre-fire there from the Finca of Dunny. So heavy damage onto them. Morocco elsewhere taken down by Taka. They've made the drop into bar. They've gotten their first control. Can they solidify it by pushing further into piano?
I mean, they're working their way up, and they're doing so rather aggressively. TPA, he will narrowly escape and actually get back down the white stairs, and Riot, in the meantime, will pick up a good kill onto Dunny. That is actually very big because, I mean, Riot was already low on HP, 1 HP essentially to his name, still able to win that fight against the Finca, and losing your Finca, I would say this is still pretty early in the round, not where Incontrol would like to be. They still have all the soft destruction I talked about, but now they're going to be limited on time, and they're not going to have that, well, the health assist that the Finca normally allows.
Well, so far they've gained control of part of the top floor, but it seems like most of the defenders now have rotated back down with only a minute left. That should allow for now Incontrol to go to work, open the floor up, and try to create an execute off of it. They still have some heart breaching to use, try and push the way into sight, but a C4 from below from Twizzler will make it that much more difficult. They haven't used that soft breaching quite enough, and the main person to do it would be Badger on the Buck, who's now dead for them. So can they still get this execute off, opening up into reading, or into, I mean, not reading, into mining, or dining. Goddamn, I can't get the one play right. But so they're gonna push to open up and maybe push through white stairs instead of going for mining.
I mean, yeah, put so much focus into the soft breach, but it's going to be those X-Kairos pellets, the hard breach from Serve that is going to open up, looks like, the opportunities here for Incontrol. But they still have a lot of work to do, and there's a couple of defenders they just haven't quite put their finger on. They don't have under wraps, and that's going to be a problem if they don't deal with this in a moment. I mean, you have TPA still playing here by this mining hall, the museum entrance, and it's actually going to be Riot to strike first. Again, a double kill onto Serve for him. Reaper strikes back and gets one, but Traken will make his presence found as well. Reaper now gets another, but it's going to be all up to him, and simply there was no time to work with. Achieve pulling out a more unorthodox site seemed to work wonders against an Incontrol team that just didn't know the best way to approach that site. We saw him flounder upstairs, and it got the better of them.
Yeah, I would say they started off getting that control. They started off getting aggressive, just jumping down into bar, taking fights. They get the first pick on Morocco. It's traded out, though, as soon as they try to push further in. And by the time they really take that control of top floor, it's only a minute left. And a C4 from below denies the Buck of Badger from really doing his job. And from that point, because you don't have the soft breach potential, because you don't have the, the quick, efficient way of using a Buck, you have to use hard breachers or soft breachers, you then have to try to rotate to a different take. And you saw that was going to go for a dining push instead. But again, they hadn't cleared reading. They hadn't cleared the cross angles for a dining plan. So they go ahead and try to do that. And unfortunately, they don't have quite the intel to know where these defenders are at. They're walking into crossfires by the defenders, walking to angles. They don't know where they are and losing most of these fights. And unfortunately, then at that point, it's only one or two players trying to make up in the comparison. It was a 1-2 at the end there. It was, Reaper to get 2 picks, bring it close to end there for his team, but he still has to get 2 more to even get close to winning it.
That's kind of the pace of the round we typically expect on a more unusual bomb site that attacking teams, many like just aren't used to attacking, right? In Control, it seemed like they had no real idea of how they wanted to approach that site. I mean, they had some rough structure of that attack. They knew that they wanted to enter through that top floor. They wanted to get that, white stairs facing wall open of dining as soon as they could, but getting those steps done, it took a long time. They're probably not as practiced on that bomb site. And that's exactly what Achieve were trying to exploit. And I think what they did very effectively. That's a perfect way to start off this map, really establishing that you understand this map better than your opponents, that you're going to come out and you're going to start things off well. Achieve have done that. And they're now moving downstairs to Kitchen to see what they can do and continue that success.
Well, so far last time, in Control, they didn't have quite the roam clear they wanted to. They got the first opening pick, though. So they had started out well when it came to that round. Can they do it again here on this Kitchen defense, as we're going to see members of Achieve upstairs, the Visual, the Mozzie, of course, playing around, just wasting time, wasting intel. Of course, there's already a Mozzie pest in the way for MX Reaper. He's got to shoot 2 pests, actually, I think, on that door, was it? That's kind of crazy. Or maybe he just didn't shoot anyway. But Mozzie here playing inside of Radiant's TPA, waiting for something, and Twizzler elsewhere, Traken as well, getting a good C4 onto red. Nobody's there, actually, so kind of an early C4 with no intel. Those are all back down. So far, they're just kind of wasting time, waiting for Incontrol to push in. And so far, I don't know what exactly. No, they're actually in finally. Dunny's made his way into Piano. They're clearing it out slowly but surely.
Yeah, top floor control looks like that has been secured. Everyone from Achieve backed off and is playing more passively on this second floor instead. This hold is going to be, it looks like 3 people are holding it right now. You'll have Traken, your Thunderbird. You'll have TPA. You'll have Twizzler as well. All positioning on this second floor, trying to delay this clear as long as possible. That's why Reaper is bringing out the Jackal, to speed this clear up. 90 seconds, though, have already transpired, and well, he's still trying to scan and get the location of these last few defenders. He'll spot out TPA, and he'll now be pressured out heavily, but Twizzler is still nearby to support. Unfortunately, could not support TPA as he rotated back through dining, and, well, the first pick once again will be found for In Control.
Well, at least they get 1 pick on that roam clear, so they have now a minute or so now to just go to work, open up this floor, and see if they can now transition into an actual execute. What I'm assuming at this point, Achieve are playing towards, towards bakery, towards positions where you're not going to get, pressured by this vertical control. As Traken and 2 members here are playing bakery. Nobody's playing VIP, though. They're actually not anybody towards that east side of the map. It's all mainly towards bakery. So I wonder if at this point will Achieve get aggressive and try and retake some of this control on top floor, or will they rotate if it goes towards a freezer take, because they can have someone ready inside of VIP maybe, but it looks like In Control actually going for bakery first. Morocco's getting heavy damage, but he takes out Dunny in return with that 81 bullets in the LMG.
Well, it looks like Achieve, they're going to be covering this entire first floor because they know In Control. They're approaching from several different angles right now. Now, the good thing here is you've got a lot of options, but the problem is you are limited and stretched for time. Badger gets 1 to bring things back a little bit, but he doesn't know Twizzler is lurking around the other side. It is going to be all up to Tack in a 1 versus 3. 5 seconds left. He'll deal with 1, but this one is not looking too good. 1 second to get in the bomb site, get the bomb down, and that is simply not going to be allowed to happen. Once again, Achieve are exploiting that clock. In Control seem to be oddly flustered on that attack, an attack that they should be very comfortable on at this point, and they just were not able to get anything done.
And unfortunately, too, one of the members on Achieve has backed out or maybe disconnected, so we're in a bit of a timeout waiting for a return. Here he is, back in the game. TPA is returned. But that round, yeah, you would hit the nail on the head there. Just time is the factor here. In Control, they had a roam clear. They got a kill off of it, but that left them a minute left to really do things. And it was Badger then opening the floor up, and nobody from In Control elsewhere was really pushing anything else until like 30 seconds left, until there was no time really available to make the push happen. You saw two members try to push Bakery. You saw them push Red at those, last minute, last 30 seconds, and they were just walking into fires that the defenders were just waiting for at that point. And because there's no drones, there's only like 3 drones left at that point too. They didn't even know where the defenders were when pushing these angles like Bakery, like small bake, into prep. And that point is just members. You saw, of course, the LMG just killing members on pushing through Bakery. You saw one member inside of Traken inside of Small Bake, just denying a player pushing down Red, as well as the person in coach check. So unfortunately, Incontrol not only is time the issue, but just intel when it comes to those dying moments too, because they're just losing drones when trying to clear these members early on in the round.
I got to admit, Benny, I gave Incontrol the benefit of the doubt in that first round because it's an unusual bomb site. And the reason they looked flustered, right, it could be because they're not used to attacking it. But I don't know if I can look past the fact that they looked just as confused on a bomb site that they have seen every time they've played this map, right?
I told you they winning attack rounds last time they played this.
Yeah,
at least
like,
on the open qualifiers.
I just don't quite understand what their approach was there. And when they went for that execute, right? I mean, they never really got that point in the round. They never really went for a full execute, but they started to apply some pressure to Bakery way too late in the round after working so hard on a top-down clear that usually means you're going to be building pressure from elsewhere. Maybe Whiskey Bar is going to be your focus and VIP is going to be your focus, and taking that freezer hall like that is going to be your approach. If you're going to take all of that map control and then do nothing with it, it was a little bit puzzling to see, and that's something that Incontrol are going to have to remedy as soon as possible, because 2 rounds in, the same troubling pattern emerging, and once Achieve catch on, if they haven't already, things are going to get even worse because they can continue to exploit the clock here. So keep an eye out Incontrol, because those 2 rounds, you got to shake that off, and you just got to get a move on here.
Well, so far, it looks to be a different take. We usually see teams push that piano side, but because of Pixel and how difficult it is, it looks like Achiever going for a cocktail take here. So the windows are going to be important. Using that vertical control by, the buck or the grenades to deal damage to shields or, push out defenders, and cocktail is going to be vital for, Incontrol this round. Badger will attack elsewhere against Twizzler, actually. So that's one place on the board. That's C4 gone from the defense. And now we'll see Dunny throw grenades, trying to get some kills on members inside a cocktail. Nobody so far. We should see Badger go to work and open the floor and push them out. And so now people on the windows, we need to see members of Incontrol on the windows to further push them out, try and get picks, and make sure these defenders aren't in a position to stop them if they were to repel in or go up white stairs.
Incontrol, the one thing they have done well is getting these opening kills. They've done it now 3 rounds in a row. Again, they haven't done much with it, but at least that's something. And you've removed the Goyo, you've taken a C4 off the board theoretically, but other than that, Twizzler has already done his job. But here comes Tack, trying to just get around the rest of this utility, and it is going to work. Taking down Track and Serve, picking up TPA in the meantime here, and it's just going to be Morocco, it's just going to be Riot left to defend, well, this entire bomb site by themselves, and Incontrol are not going to allow that to happen. They will steamroll their way up the white stairs, and Reaper will be the one credited with that final kill. But I mean, I talk about timing issues. Incontrol, they just decided to throw caution into the wind and just run up the stairs, go as fast as possible, and this time it worked, Benny.
I would say, I think the big thing is the fact that they get that opening pick, and then they have someone below, make sure that nobody can take a fight onto, one person. I think it was Tack jumping through the heaven window, through that, that cocktail balcony window. That's kind of the big thing. If you get control of cocktail balcony of heaven, you have to just cut off all of cocktail, and from there you can make sure nobody really rotates back into sight. Nobody can really rotate towards white stairs, and the white stairs members can then walk up the stairs heavily, just take a fight on one angle, which is that bathroom piano side. And that was big on Control. That was a much better round when it came to what the game plan was. Like I said before, they looked confused in those other rounds when it came to trying to figure out what the plan was, but I think this time Incontrol had a solid plan and they executed well. And the question is, can they keep doing that though?
Well, at least one element that I'm a fan of here, Benny, is Tack on the Zofia. 5-1 right now. He was a player that I highlighted right before we got into the matchup as somebody who had a very troubling performance last week against Two-Faced and needed to step things up, especially on that entry. And already seeing Tack make this improvement, that is really good to see. And it does bode well for Incontrol down the line. Plus, I mean, they already got their first attacking round here. And on a map that, like you said, Benny, we have seen, at least Incontrol play, and it's been quite defensive-sided. That's theoretically half of the rounds they really need to get on this attack. They're going to be looking to get at least 2. but 2 would also just get the job done here, and that's their mission. They're going to head into round number 4, just trying to secure another round. They're, of course, going to have to attack mining and dining once again, a site that we saw how heavily they struggled last time. So now, despite making some good adjustments and speeding things up in the last round, we have to see how they can make adjustments on a site that we know they've struggled on in the past.
Yeah, last time they were able to get the opening pick this round, but they couldn't convert that opening pick into real control over the site. And by the time they actually took control, that was when Achieve had conceded to them at that point, gave them that control. And at that point, it was Achieve just waiting on site for them to just push down towards that second floor and push toward the site. And they were waiting ready. And it was Reaper who the one even brought it to close one as a 1v2 in the end for him to try and, push that fight. Oh my god, again, a drop this time. Tact is the same thing as he did the first round, but hey, Achieve this time are more aware of it. They're definitely a lot smarter. Another kill for Reaper, though. He takes out TPA and a jump out from the member track, and he'll go down to Dunny, as Dunny was well aware of that, and Reaper gets a second for his trouble. He'll take up Morocco, but Twizzler's there to try and bring things back as 3v2, and still, but there's quite a bit of time for Incontrol to still win this out.
Yeah, what a bizarre start to this round. It seemed that it was going well for Achieve. They got the opening pick onto Tack, and then literally they throw themselves out of windows in an effort to get other kills. And, well, that is not generally going to be a good pattern for success. We saw a track and fall to that bizarre decision, and it was aggressive, and had he connected with those few shots, it would have been a successful, and I would have probably complimented that play. But, of course, couple of missed bullets quickly change the course of the round, and, well, they'll dictate the success of that play. But now with under just about a minute to go, this is still not out of the question for Achieve to pull off this defense, but Incontrol, they are now the ones in the upper hand. Not to mention, we just saw that C4 from Twizzler get burned and wasted. That is a piece of utility that he was really going to wish he had back, especially a man down going into the latter half of this round when you know Incontrol are going to be gearing up and going for this push. You still have all these players on Incontrol. They're on this top floor. They're working their way down, trying to establish a couple of avenues onto this bomb site, and they are very close for building up to a proper execute. It's just about deciding, are they going to push from this red stair side, or is it going to be something of that white hall push? I think we have our answer. Dunny, from those red positioned over on New Balk, takes down Riot, a good angle into reading room. That means Twizzler is left alone and has to worry about 3 players bearing down from all sides. Serve now, going for this plant. Twizzler sees somebody and has some pings to work with. Good flick and a good headshot is found, but now it's a post plant, and he's got to find 2 more. A couple of shots through the wall will reveal one attacker's position, not to mention he's got some red pings to work with, and he'll spot the player just skipping around the corner. But now he's got to make a move, and he's got to figure out exactly where he wants to take this fight, and he's got to get aggressive. 30 seconds or less to go, and he needs to get a move on. Too timid right now to take this gunfight. Dunny doing a great job of wasting time. Twizzle whip out the shotgun, go for the wide swing, and down Dunny. Only one more now with Serve in the middle of the red train. Not the easiest angle to fight because he's got to crouch through this whole. Serve will miss a couple of bullets, but eventually pulling it out, and Incontrol will continue that success. That is 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah, that was scary at the end there, but ooh, not much better time when it comes to the, I guess I wouldn't even say roam clear, because it was Incontrol who didn't get the first pick. It was Twizzler on Achieve who did it. They read into the fact that Tack last time jumped down bar into bar from the skylight. They kill him this time. They deny Tack from getting the opening pick. But then from there, like you were talking before, Achieve then get aggressive. They start taking fights. It was also MX Reaper taking kills on the piano as well. But you saw, one player from Achieve jump out a window, tries to go for a kill. I think it was Straken. I can't remember who it was, but they jump out a window, they lose that fight. MX Reaper pushes their way into Cigar, pushes their way into Piano, takes 2 kills of his own. And at that point, it's a 2v3 at that point for Achieve. And like you said, bro, that C4 could have been what made it a 2v2, made it possible, but unfortunately, it goes to waste. And then a good read from Incontrol, knowing that they have that angle from reading all the way towards the red hall. They're watching that angle. They deal with one of the players of Riot playing reading. And from that point, it's a 1v3. He's got to try and deny those plays. He gets 1 pick, but it's a post plant. He's going to run and find these kills. He's a bit too timid, doesn't know where they are. So he's kind of just looking, just pre-firing, trying to find kills. Does down Dunny, but he gets finished off in the end. And that's a win 2-2, tied up Incontrol.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, they've done their job, as I said. Looking to get those 2 rounds in a row, and they have done that on their attacking side, so now they can attack with a little bit more confidence and a little bit more comfort, knowing that, well, worst case scenario, they already got the 2 rounds that they need. But now, once again, we have to see how they make a couple of adjustments, right? They've got to approach this first floor, this kitchen site, and they've got to, yes, work against this achieve defense, but they have to find a way to make sure the clock is not going to be a problem. And I already like a little bit of what we're seeing, at least a couple of, bullets, a little bit of pressure being applied from Reaper towards that first floor, but quickly it appears that Incontrol will indeed go for the full top down, working their way from the roof into this third floor. That's going to be their first effort. And once again, they've got several roamers to deal with. It's Twizzler, it's TPA, it's Tracken. Those three players hoping to hold off this attack as long as they can and waste as much time as they can.
Yeah, last time the big thing was that time. They were down to maybe 30 seconds to really make the execute happen after they cleared the top two floors with a minute left, but then they go vertical. They try opening up the floor to try and find members of Achieve, but members of Achieve at that point in the last minute are playing horizontally. They're playing in Bakery, playing by Whiskey, playing Coat Check. But Reaper will start off once again. Well, in this round, actually, last one, yeah, he was able to get the first pick last time onto TPA, but now it's on a Tranken that get that first pick. And now the members of Achieve will drop down faster after losing a member, and that should give more time to Incontrol to open up their vertical pressure and really figure out what their plan is. Because Jay-Z said before, it was very confusing on what they were doing. Maybe because it was lack of drones last time, but they just kind of walked into Bakery with no information and just tried to take fights, and they lost most of those fights.
Well, Incontrol right now, I mean, they are doing what they do best, and that is getting the opening pick. Now it is just about translating what they've got, the map control they have, and transitioning that into an execute, a genuine execute. That is what I want to see from them here. Not a crazy amount of frags, not just sitting above on these, head holes and just trying to get a couple of kills, but, dropping a couple of smokes in. Reaper has 2 of those in pocket. You've got 4 flashes still to work with. You've got the Finka. You can gear up for a coordinated push. That is what we want to see in these last 50 seconds.
Well, so far it looks like they are maybe eyeing for a freezer drop, so VIP does need to be cleared. Reaper's looking towards VIP for the second. I think they have information on the Malusi of Riot Air to destroy one of the Banshees over by the white door, and Riot does hear that, so he's aware that someone's on white. Throws a grenade, but the timing, he hears the pin as he's swinging. He swings at the perfect time, and there goes. Riot takes out Dunny. Is there a refrag? The member of them attacks, just pre-fires through the benches. Great kill. Reaper gets 2-0 in the Whiskey. That's a triple kill for Reaper. Now it's on to Morocco in a 1v4 and try and bring it back. He has the Alder in hand. 81 bullets could do it all, but it's 4 members in control. Do they know where he is? They're going to walk through the double door. Serv's going to bring planting, and there it is. He's been flashed, actually. You can't actually see from the cam. The plant's going to go down. Now it's a post plant for Morocco. What does it even matter? Attack will finish him off.
That's another good round from Incontrol. I can't quite figure out what Achieve are doing wrong. I mean, it just feels like they're getting a bit aggressive on the defensive side. Even on this round here, couple of early picks they did not need to give up to Incontrol, especially, one onto Tracken, who was holding down that second floor. But then when it came down to the VIP and Whiskey Bar presence, Incontrol, Reaper specifically, just tore that apart. Normally, that first floor extension is something that attacking teams struggle to clear out. And just the first 2 rounds, the way we saw Incontrol approach those, I would expect them to struggle with that clear as well. But they did it crazy fast. And it wasn't like we saw a utility dump or a coordinated ridiculous push. It was somebody lost their life on the white stairs, and 2 teammates just said, okay, screw it, let's jump in and try to get that trade. Tack did that, taking out Riot and VIP, and then Reaper just storms down the brown stairs and just takes care of the 2 players that were hoping to support that VIP player. Really good job there from Incontrol, especially to pivot after losing 1 player in that initial gunfight to Riot, just pushing down. I think it was Dunny pushing down those stairs, who just, like you said, Benny, kind of got timinged of, he was holding that angle and then he wasn't because he was cooking that nade instead. But those kind of moments, bringing it back like Incontrol was able to do, that is a good sign, and it shows that maybe they're learning how to attack this map a little bit better. They're starting to figure out what Achieve are throwing at them.
Yeah, sometimes being aggressive and just taking the moment, you have to go with the flow sometimes and just take fights at that point too. There wasn't a whole lot of utility stopping them, so they didn't really have a problem walking those brown stairs. But Reaper entirely, he's been getting opening picks. He's been getting multi-kills these rounds too. He's been quite the mid-round killer, hasn't he? He's 9-2 at the moment. My God. So we'll see if he can do it once again. We're on back to this kitchen defense. Like that's going upstairs actually, but actually going back to retry the kitchen. C4 thrown out, actually gets shot by a member in control. So that C4 be wasted by Achieve. And now with that start once again, can they get this opening pick once again to start them off and then go towards that bottom floor? I wonder if Achieve are going to stay here longer, or they the sign of pressure, or are they just going to back off and not try to keep themselves alive for that mid to end round?
Well, Achieve should know at this point, they've won 2 rounds because In Control have struggled with the clock. Exploit that, right? Don't allow yourself to be taken off the board so early. Even if you have to give up this roam maybe a little bit earlier than you would like, sometimes you just gotta take the L, at least in terms of the roam, get yourself back to the bomb site and fight on site in a 5v5 because you have the advantage in that situation. But In Control, what they're doing right now is a brilliant cut off of this roam. It's not a traditional top-down clear. It's expedited, and it is beautiful. Great shot from Reaper. That's double kill in this round, hitting double digits. Tak joins him, getting another kill, and Riot is going to fall as well. That's a double kill for Tak, a double kill for Reaper. All of it on this roam. I asked Achieve to maybe play a little bit more passively, and they did the complete opposite. Instead, every single player died off the site, trying to maintain control of the second floor. A poorly conceived defensive attempt, and In Control are more than happy to not only take that round, but secure a 4-2 attacking half. Benny, what a way to turn things around.
4 rounds in a row, and the fact that we talked about intel was kind of an issue in those earlier rounds, and you saw during the round intel was perfect for In Control. They were droning out every single roamer, and you saw every single roamer get executed on every single time. That is quite a turnaround when it comes to gameplay in a half that I've seen, really. So great job to In Control, and like you said, they're now 2 rounds ahead from their attacking half. Now they're on defense. Either A, this is going to be an attacking side of Cafe, or In Control are about to end this game. This is their map too, so maybe they're going to end this map dominantly, and we're going to go on to Achieve's map pick.
I mean, Achieve are the ones now who are going to have to figure out something to do on this attacking side, right? They've been forced into maybe a situation that they like. Hey, maybe they're a attacker team on Cafe, but I don't know. I think it's unlikely. They came out and they chose the defensive side. That is where they wanted to begin, and In Control have punished them for it. In Control, this is their map, like you said, Benny, so no wonder they're a little bit more comfortable here. We haven't seen this map from Achieve yet, and well, I think we're starting to learn why. It looked like those first 2 defense were looking strong, but since then they just haven't been able to counter any of the adaptations that In Control have made in their direction. So good to see from In Control, but Achieve, it's now their turn to switch things around. We can take some of the lessons we learned from that previous half, maybe throw them out the window a little bit here, and
I know this strat already.
Yeah, see what they're going to do here, Benny.
This is where Reaper got his ace last time when they played the French Inco game. He plays cave, or the cave or the single wall right there, and a double wall into red. He plays the angle towards the hatch and then shoots them when they drop red. Because like you can see the red hatch from that angle.
Ah, very nice.
He got ace from there last time, just sitting in that position the entire round.
We'll see what he does this time, right? I mean, he is in pillar. He is in the position to challenge that angle if he needs, and he's got some support, right? I mean, he's got Dunny on the pulse.
Yeah, I hope that they know this and they're not going to walk into it. It looks like they are aware of this, and they're actually going for a different push. There's 2 members on white. Reaper will hear this, and he's going towards white, but he also has a member at the northeast door, right below that, cocktail balcony. So in this trade, it looks like the members on Achieve are trying to clear out these 2 people, or 3 people actually downstairs. So there's 3 members, or actually no, there's 2 members on the defense who are roaming on the second floor. They're looking to clear them out. Do they have the proper intel? Attack in cocktail has gone down.
Oh, well, Dunny, he spots him. All he's got to do is whip out this gun and pre-fire, but he is not quite looking the right way. Twiz hasn't quite advanced all that far up the white stairs that Dunny thought he was a little bit closer, but not going to go so well for the defense, at least in that first engagement, but 2 more quickly going their way. Dunny will respond and actually get a kill after not being able to secure the first one. Twizzler will be cut down, as will TPA, but Dunny has been removed in response. So it's still a 3v4. Achieve on the back foot, but not out of the question. Riot, he knows there's someone lurking around the other side of the wall. It's going to be Reaper, and he's going to do the ring around the Rosie, and he is going to secure a double kill on the round. He's looking for another, but Morocco is there to secure the trade. So still within one, but still a disadvantage for Achieve.
And so far, the issue now here is the fact that Incontrol, Achieve had spent all that time roam clearing. They haven't done any real damage on the site. They haven't opened any walls. They haven't gained any real control. So now they're going to spend the last minute, the last 40 seconds, gaining control of other parts of the site. Would be clearing Pixel. And actually, nobody's playing Pixel because they actually full reinforced. So they're all waiting by freezers to deny the push into Bar. Morocco can go to work and try to open these walls, but I'm assuming there's probably no, actually there's no denial, so you can get the walls open, but it's probably not enough time to really even do that.
Well, also, Incontrol, they've got a ton of intel to work with. Surf still has these Echo drones. He knows exactly where these attackers are pushing from, and they know exactly how to avoid these gunfights. They know they don't have to get aggressive and take these fights. Achieve with 10 seconds left. They are the ones that have to push and get aggressive, and Serve is looking right towards them. They're constantly being pinged. Badger has a shotgun. Tack will swing with the 416, and Incontrol will make quick work of round number 7. They will continue to establish this lead. Now it's a 3-round margin, 5-2 for Incontrol. So that's not where they're going to make the changes. Maybe we're going to see those changes made in their playstyle and how they want to approach this.
Yeah, I think, well, you didn't really see much of you didn't see quite a successful roam clear last round. So maybe having that nomad to try and stop any rotates and stop any aggression from Incontrol. But really, it's like there was some aggression, but it just came down not really figuring out where those roamers are at. So we'll see how they do it. But we got to see if they can actually clear this top floor, gain control of Cocktail. We have 2 soft breachers, so they have a bit of redundancy there if someone on Twizzler or Riot dies early, and they just need to try and use that vertical pressure, push their way on the site, and more than anything, just get in the building, gain control of top floor, and take those fights. And well, maybe MX Reaper, like he was using the Jackal, maybe a Jackal would help here. But really, when it comes to this roam at top floor, they don't really see a lot of movement per se. It's just setting up those, those bunker style defenses on certain parts of that top floor.
Well, we saw how Achieve used this top floor well in the very first round of the map. It is.
Oh boy.
Heck yeah. Hey, you got a drone. That's something. Always good to see the F12. But what I was saying there is we saw how good Achieve was on the defensive side on the very first round. They knew how to lock down this top floor, right? At least to some extent. Which makes me hope that they know how to approach this on the attacking side, or at least they know what they need to get done when it's approaching Cocktail. One thing they know for sure is they need to do this expeditiously. They've got to get in there quick, because if you don't, you're going to have the same time struggles that Incontrol did on their half, and what you might have to start doing if you're not careful. So they'll start things off with this top down and at least trying to figure out what they're dealing with, but they're dealing with some presence in Piano itself. This is an aggressive position from Tack. We're also seeing some aggression from Reaper, who gets that opener. And
is this
we're going to have to see how it works.
Ooh.
Oh my god, it was.
He just shot it from Sky. He just peeks Skylight and wins it. What the? What a shot from Reaper. And this is the big thing, like you're talking about, being able to deal. Actually, wait, with that kill, are they just dropping off the top floor? Is that wise? To just,
I mean, they've
off
lost
one kill, just leave for the most part?
They still have a sledge, right? So if they didn't have a sledge, I'd say, well, why take top floor at this point? Because you can't establish the vertical play anyway. True. But they do have a sledge. So I think they're actually going to head back upstairs and maybe think twice about that.
So maybe they dropped off knowing they killed their soft breacher, thinking that's the only soft breacher they have, but they still have the sledging sword too. So it depends here. They still have the FO12 below, so they could try to still shotgun the sledge as he opens the floor later on in the round when they start doing that vertical pressure. And Reaper still playing top floor by himself for the moment, maybe looking to get one more pick before descending down the stairs. If he does die, it's a 1-for-1, I guess, and it's still Incontrol. Just even up, just waiting on Achieve to make their move. But so far, Achieve just droning things out, figuring out what they can, just pushing on through. Maybe MX Reaper can pick someone off who isn't aware of his presence.
He had that opener, and now he'll be looking to get the second. But man, he's been spotted out, and even though Reaper can't see where those bullets are coming from, well, Traken was more than comfortable to get that angle, and we'll get that kill found as well. So now we're evened up. Achieve have quickly brought things back, and with 45 seconds to go, they've got a good amount of manpower here to make for what could be a strong execute, but they still have a lot of defenders to deal with. Serb will be one of those defenders. He'll go for a swing, and he'll take down Twizzler without much trouble. He won't even take a single HP worth of damage for his troubles at all. Now, Kraken, he'll only have a single bit of HP remaining as a C4 comes and detonates right below his feet. Morocco will now get lit up as his position has been spotted out in Pillar, and Serve is just making these players struggle as they work their way onto this first floor. Now, TPA will respond. Good kill from him, but Badger is there with an SMG-11. Serve is there with a UMP, and on 1 HP, Kraken is all that remains, and Serve is not having it. A wide swing out from Mining, straight onto Pillar, and quickly dealing with this Achieve attack, who just haven't been able to get anything going. It is Incontrol up by 4. It is Incontrol on match point.
Incontrol, once again, a great defense. We're kind of questioning the move when they all descended from the top floor early in that round. Reaper does get traded back after getting the first pick onto Riot. And then from there, they start opening the floor up. Achieve starts, destroying that vertical, trying to create that vertical pressure, but Serve killing Twizzler in that motion, dealing with that's vertical pressure early. So from that point, Achieve then have to deal with the vertical pressure they've created, deal with the holes they've created, and try to then push on to site. They were down, man. They only had 3 people left for that point too. And with 3 people, you really can't, allocate them to watching those vertical holes too. So they all just kind of descend towards Pillar. And it was not Serve. I think it was Serve, another player. Well, I think it was maybe someone else who was playing inside a train. I can't remember. It was the Castle, who's playing in train, who's just watching from that train side, making sure they're dropping and Pillar and get those picks off of them. And then elsewhere on site too, there's members who have shotguns. You saw them, I think it was TPA, not TPA, it was somebody else who just swings off of the reading door, and they denied the push into site too as well. So just in the end, Incontrol knew the entire game plan from Achieve, because it is kind of the default. Going for that reading plant is usually the obvious choice. You get the vertical control, you push for a default plant, and Incontrol just exactly knew what they were doing and just waited and played it correctly.
Well, now Benny will be heading down to kitchen here. Incontrol looking to just finish things out in a clean 7-2 fashion, doing it very differently than Achieve defended this bomb site. We're not seeing the Malusi, the Vigil, the Thunderbird, or the Mozzie, all staples of the Achieve defense. Instead, we are seeing, at least in terms of this operator lineup, I would say a little bit more of a passive lineup, right? You're favoring the Wamai, the Maestro, the Kaid, the Smoke, all of these operators who are a little bit more designed for actually just chilling down on the objective rather than going aggressive and hunting for frags or trying to waste time on this roam. And I love to see that here from Incontrol. They know what works for them, and they're looking to continue with that pattern. It's Achieve who will be forced to break that up. We're seeing the double soft destruction. They have the Buck and the Sledge again, and there is no better bomb site to bring the combination. They just have to keep these 2 players alive, keep their fragging potential alive as they work their way past this roam clear, which doesn't really need to happen too much because there isn't a roam. And once they get that pressure on the site, we just got to see them get some frags here.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. With the lineup they have, though, they're looking to make a horizontal hold here on site. You already see people playing VIP, playing code check, playing by whiskey. So at this point, that vertical pressure you're going to get on site, as long as members don't really peek out of the positions where you can get hit from, like those 2 members on site right now, and Badger and I believe Serve, they're not going to get a lot out of this control, all this vertical pressure. Twizzler looking through, maybe finding the Kaid. So there is actually a member who's trying to keep that wall inside the bakery closed. It's Dunny playing at the member right. He's a C4 in hand, looking to C4 Twizzler for the moment. C4 comes out, goes off, doesn't kill him because Twizzler. So now Dunny's got to be aware and make sure he doesn't get his head taken off by Twizzler or Riot playing that vertical pressure. There it is. Got shot in the back. Badgers backs off. He goes towards whiskey. It looks like Trake and other members are going towards bakery. So of course you can't be just doing one thing at a time. Members of Achieve need to be going towards bakery, going towards VIP if that is the play, and start gaining that control for the execute.
Right now is when we see Achieve shift up towards this push, and it will start off with a good kill, and a very important kill at that. That is your Smoke, who has been taken off the board. And if you're in control, you know how problematic that is going to be. Now, Badger and his presence in this round is going to be even more important if he wants to use those Evil Eyes, potentially deny the plant. But if not, you know you're going to have to frag your way out of this defense because you no longer have those toxic smokes to rely on. Dunny looking for fights. Badger looking for fights, but well, that's not going to be allowed to happen much longer. The X-Kairos pellets opening up that angle into prep, telling Incontrol that Achieve are approaching from this big bakery side, but also limiting Incontrol's options with how they want to play this. Tax sitting close around the corner. He'll get lined up by Twizzler. TPA will follow that one up onto Badger. Dunny gets one back. but it's a 2v3. Now it's a 2v3 with a good kill there from Dunny. Good pistol as well, but it's up to Reaper. 8 seconds left, so still a good chance to stop this plant because Riot's going to have to stick this, and, well, Twizzler's going to have to cover if he can. Reaper knows where he's positioned. He's going to hunt down for this bomb, and he's not going to be able to see him in time. Riot will hop off the defuse and get that headshot, keeping Achieve alive on Cafe, giving them their third round.
Yep, finally breaking up that entire win streak from Incontrol. They've got 6 in a row. Achieve will take their third. 6-3. They need 3 more rounds to bring it to overtime here. Let's see if they can do it. But that round was great, though. We saw, I guess it was great in the hands of just Incontrol at some point. They were going for horizontal push, horizontal hold. They're just trying to hold on to, positions outside the site. It's Achieve at that point. So then, they have to see what they can do. They start creating that vertical pressure. They get that first pick onto serve. The smoke is a huge one. And from there, not only were they using that vertical pressure, they had the members of Riot and Twizzler doing work, but then the other members from Achieve start going for different angles. They start opening up red stairs, going towards Bakery, taking fights and making sure that isn't just a stall out from them as they try to get vertical control. And from there, you saw it worked out well. Red stairs, having that control upstairs allowed them to deal with the player of Badger who was playing the double window and that double door into sight. And you saw then TPA, he tries to help out. He gets shot. He walks down the red stairs, takes out the member in coach check that was trying to help out or to swing onto red stairs, who then turns around getting shot in the back. And from there, just, one after another, these members are trying to fight. It's just so much control in the hands of Achieve. So, and, I like horizontal push, horizontal roams at times, but you can't give that much control to defense so easy or to the attack that easily.
Well, Incontrol, an unsuccessful kitchen defense means that they will look for another bomb site, one that they found maybe a little bit more success on in the past. They'll be heading back to actually not to Reading. I'm mistaken. They're going to go to a new bomb site completely. Much like Achieve, they are going to go to mining and dining as well. This is actually unexpected, Benny. We don't usually see this bomb site once on Cafe, let alone twice from 2 different teams. So I'm interested to see how Achieve are going to attack this one. We saw them bold enough to start off the day here. They must know how to attack this, right?
I would hope so. I hope so. Having played it themselves, I'm assuming they have a strat to deal with it. We'll see what they do. So far, it looks like they're trying to get Aang onto white stairs to get a cutoff on some of these roamers if they are playing on the top floor. The question is, how many members from Incontrol are actually playing the top floor? And from looks of it, looks like nobody once again is actually maybe Reaper is by himself, but it seems like maybe the intent in the the focus from Incontrol isn't again that vertical control. It is that horizontal setup from them on the roam. We'll see if that Reaper is the only person up there for the moment. He might have already backed off, seeing as he's seeing shots through the windows, a cocktail through that white crystal window. But actually, no, he's playing heavy. He's dropped down to the pillar. He's looking to swing on that window, and he does swing. Perfect timing to take out TPA as he tries to rappel up.
Poor TPA. He has been absolutely shut down this entire map. 2-10 right now, and that is not something that is going to get better on the second match point of the map here. So Achieve, once again, opening death for them. Incontrol have been on top of the opening kills very consistently. In the last round, Achieve was able to maybe break up that rhythm a little bit and finally get something going and kick off the momentum for them right at the beginning of the round. But this time it is Incontrol again who start off strong. The vertical play now is coming in from Achieve. They'll find a C4 detonating at their feet. That's going to be the C4.
Actually, that was a Vulcan shield, actually.
That was a Vulcan shield.
Slammed it with the sledgehammer.
Yeah, I saw Badger grab his at the same time, but he hadn't detonated it, actually.
Yeah, I was like, wait, did you sledgehammer a Vulcan shield? That's an interesting play to make, to just set yourself on fire. But Tack playing pillars, trying to hold off for his team, so deny a plant later on. Looks like they're aware of his presence, so it looks like a flash comes out. Twizzler taking out Badger elsewhere, so that C4 will go to waste, it seems like. Dunny on the white stairs, looking to push up, and he will. And actually, knows Reaper elsewhere. He takes one out. He's refragged by Riot, though. Dunny's made his way up white hallway, looking to pre-fire onto Twizzler, who's destroying that floor, but he's now being pinched out by the attackers, aware of his presence. Pre-fire onto Riot. Great shots, giving his team the lead now into the execute in the last 30 seconds.
Tracking now. Good shot there onto Dunny, so that's going to keep things even in a 2v2. We'll be careful to run too close to this bomb site. He knows that there's going to be somebody lurking close behind. Both Tack and Serve in reading, ready to go, but they're going to get flashed out and forced to relocate. That is a very good, smart play from Tracken. Now he'll get another kill leaving it all up to Tack now in a 1v2. 10 seconds, however, for Achieve to get something going. They've got to push in. Tack with the pistol in hand is just going to be avoiding these players as much as he can, but he'll end up walking into one of them. Wow, he actually got that kill with the pistol. Ended up getting that trade. Wow, impressive shot. Ended up being a trade, though, so Achieve, they will take the round.
Also, yeah, quick point. You'll say it's poor TPA. TPA has been the opening death 4 times, and Reaper's been his killer every single time.
Wow.
Unfortunate indeed, but that round was just Achieve. I guess they really knew what they were doing. They're taking control of the top floor, but again, it seems like Incontrol aren't really fond of vertical roams. They had these 2 rounds where they've been only horizontal roaming. They haven't been really trying to keep control of the top floor and allowing for Achieve to just go to work, open the floor up. They had the opening pick on the TPA, but it's still not enough. Reaper goes down, he trades on the personnel, but it seems like, again, you're getting Achieve gain too much control, using those angles against you. You saw some great plays from the side of Achieve to deal with the 2 players and reading, because they knew where they were. The flashbang out, swinging the other door, dealing with the person who was flashed and getting that kill. And while it was some good aggression here and there from Incontrol to try and bring it back, every single time it happened, Achieve still brought it back into an even or in their favor in the end. So Incontrol, I'm not sure if they don't like roaming per se, or that's maybe the problem. Well, at least on this side, you don't really have to roam, but I say they actually won this side because of the roam, surprisingly.
Well, so far, the pattern of this half is identical to the last in terms of, defensive team starts out with 2 and the attacking team starts to bring it back. But to send this one to OT, Achieve will have to do more than just make a little bit of a comeback. They will have to complete it all the way to get that 6th round. 2 more they need. 4 in a row will be required of them if they want to see OT on this first map, on Incontrol's map pick. And, well, it's not going to be easy. That's Incontrol's job. They're going to try to make this as hard as possible. We saw a moment ago Reaper establishing that same angle you mentioned earlier, Benny, looking up towards the red hatch. So that'll be something to pay attention to here as we see how Achieve want to approach this one. It looks like it's going to be another top down. They'll enter their way through Piano and work their way towards this site, which is in fact Bar and Cocktail. So nothing actually to clear out from above in terms of down below. But the reason I mention that is you do have a pulse in the mix. You've got Dunny identifying the location of all of these Achieve attackers, and he may go for this run out here. In fact, he'll just go for the pre-fire, missing by just an inch, revealing his position, but he'll still be in the mix and still be able to provide a lot of intel for his team.
Yeah, he's still gonna play his position. Last time it was Achieve who wasted 2 minutes trying to clear these 2 players down below on the 2nd floor. But I think this time Achieve is more aware of that, and they're gonna just push straight for the piano control because nobody's playing Pixel. They're denying that piano control. Nobody's playing aggressive inside piano, so it allows them to just jump in. At least Dunny has information for his team though, so even though they are going for this control, they're going to positions where Incontrol aren't holding. Dunny can still tell them what's going on, alert Incontrol the rest of the members to what the play is, and have them position themselves accordingly. Well, Reaper's still playing his position last time like he did before, and see if he can get a pick on them, but they're joining him out, so I'm assuming nobody's going to let him just play his position, looking to try and maybe cut him off from certain positions, or who's going to go down and actually deal with them on Achieve.
Well, they've thrown 2, now 3 drones at him, but nobody is currently in position to actually take him out. They'll finally work their way into the map and maybe jump into mining and try to track him down, but they're wasting drones and, well, they're wasting time as well. 3 drones is all that remains for this attack, and it's actually Reaper the one to get the kill instead. Despite the intel, Tracken will fall. There's another drone now removed, and with this support from below, it's going to continue in the favor of Incontrol. Reaper gets a 2nd. Now, Morocco will be able to take down Tack and make a little bit of a response heard, but still it is Achieve on the back foot in a 3v4 with the map on the line. TPA with a nade, maybe sending that one into deep freezer, trying to shake up this round, but an ADS will quickly deal with that, and there is another ADS in place. Goodbye, Morocco. That's going to drop the diffuser down as Reaper is on a tear and on a triple kill in this round, looking for that 20 piece before the map is finished. Only needs to find one more to hit the 20. Looking for one more, but that's going to be denied by Dunny. Riot in the middle of the site. Reaper's going to have to find a long way around if he wants to get this kill. It won't be Reaper, it'll be Serve instead. So Reaper will only find 19, but an incredible performance from Reaper specifically and from Incontrol all around. They will take their own map pick of Cafe 7-4.
It's kitchen and dining first, like we saw from this side of Achieve on their first defense. They pulled a one-off different site. We're seeing something different from the side of Incontrol on their defense.
Well, as you mentioned, attack, starting things off for Achieve. On a map like Oregon, on a defensive-sided map, attack is where you win these maps. You win it by being better on attack than the other team. Yes, you got to be better on defense too, but more often than not, those
Attackers need to
defensive
locate
rounds,
and defuse bombs.
there's those setups aren't going to be anything out of the ordinary. You've got a set of pretty default defenses, and that is what most teams run with. But already in control, they're going to defy those expectations just a little bit, not in terms of their setup, at least for now, but in terms of the bomb site they are going to elect to begin on. They're going to kick things off on dining and kitchen here. Nothing in dorms, not downstairs and basement, not even kitchen and meeting. We're starting in one of, I think, probably one of the most lesser seen bomb sites on this map. And, well, I can't wait to see how Incontrol are going to defend it.
No, I guess the big thing here, like we usually see on this site, the big change is the fact that, well, you want a big change, but big conjunction is holding on to showers for as long as possible. Because once you have control of small tower and take control of showers, you can drive a lot of those defenders back. There is some long angles from kitchen, from maybe that hatch inside of, kids' dorms towards that side that can be lethal. But if you have that control, you can smoke things out, you can push those defenders back, you can gain a lot of control, and you can really get that bomb down early and make that a post-win situation for the defense that have to try and, walk into sight lines that you already have control of. But so far, Meeper already getting heavy, fire towards that shower side. He's gonna be the one holding on the showers for as long as possible and see if he can do so, as they've already taken control of small tower. There's no small tower roam or really control here. Oh, what a shot from Reaper to start us off early in Oregon.
Yeah, Reaper just wants to continue getting those opening picks. Even on the Wamai, just sitting in showers, no deployable shield supporting him. He's going to get those kills anyway. Follow up, great C4, TPA is gone, so that rhythm that we mentioned that needs to change, it's not going to change in this first round. Badger, an aggressive swing, and he'll light Riot up till very, very low, but can't quite finish him off, and still eager to get aggressive. Looks like, I mean, everyone on In Control wants to swing. Impact as a little bit of a distraction. That'll be a nice little swing to follow it up, and several In Control defenders will just throw their bodies towards small tower, and while they lose a couple of bodies along the way, they will be more than happy to claim that first round. An aggressive start. Achieve tried to go straight on into dining a small tower, an aggressive attacking approach. They were met with aggression on the defense, and they were shut down.
Yeah, usually the issue is when the defenders get pushed back, that's when, the attackers gain that control and push in a site. But, why not just stop them in the first place? Don't let them get together with control. They have control of small tower, but from there you saw Reaper already saw as well get that first pick on the track and stop that initial pick. And at that point, Achieve is, kind of freaking out to try and pick things up, trying to stop what's happening. But then the C4 else from Dunny gets another pick. You're already down to 3 members, and with only 3 members, you can only watch so many angles. Allows for Badger to swing the hallway from showers or from bathroom. And then from there, you're looking back and forth. The impact gets thrown out. Kind of a weird one. I'm not sure if that really was a distraction or not, or what that entailing was. But then allows for them to swing off the impact, get a second, get another pick, make it a 2v5. And then from there, it's just the members of In Control to swing one after another to finish the round out. So great stop from In Control to start us off. They're starting on a great footing. We're going down to the usual bomb site of the basement.
Yeah, now it's a bit more of explored territory for both of these teams, and maybe that's where Achieve will prefer to attack, right? I mean, again, dining is a site that they probably don't attack very often. Basement, they see this every single time they go to this map. In terms of their lineup, it's going to be the same. You're going to have Riot, though, on that Finca instead of TPA, which we saw last map. Instead, TPA is going to be focusing on the Zofia instead. And in terms of this defensive lineup, Reaper is going to be sticking with the Wamai, which might be a little bit surprising right off the bat, especially because we saw how crazy he could be on a more fragging focused operators, especially on Cafe. But I mean, seeing how Reaper performed in round 1, I don't think the operator or the weapon is going to slow Reaper down at all.
And you say that too, he's not really on a fragging operator, but they're looking to play a different round. And once again, he gets the first pick again on the Twizzler with that AUG, just playing aggressive. It doesn't matter what op it is. Like you said, it doesn't matter what op it is. He can get a kill on any op. And really, the fact that In Control are playing for this roam, they're not going to be playing that, that normal elbow defense or playing for laundry control. They're going to play aggressive in kitchen, inside of security, looking to take fights with Achieve early in the round and just make it so definitive going into it. He just pre-fire into dining, and there's one person. It's the Zofia of TPA who takes heavy damage from elsewhere, from Dunny maybe actually, and tracking as well.
As a TPA in a bit of a pickle here, and now will be calling for some support. So both Tracken and Riot will rotate down on a little Finca boost as well to give them a little bit more HP to work with, a little bit more confidence in this gunfight. Reaper now is the one who finds himself a little bit trapped. He tried to swing out and maybe get aggressive to work his way back in this round, but he will stay tucked in security. Nade heading his way. and I suspect he'll be dropping down this hatch in a moment's notice. But Dunny is not. Dunny is still staying in this position, supporting his teammate, and trying to hunt for these kills. Same thing goes for Tack, just trying to hold the top of these freezer stairs, but finally, several of these players will rotate away. They say, you know what, 90 seconds left, we've done our job, let's back off, let's play safe.
Yep. Well, now they're gonna drop off, and Badger's still playing on these, big tower stairs for the moment. But now it's up to Achieve to now create, execute out of what they have left. They still have most of their, members left, but maybe some utility, those grenades are not available anymore because they used them trying to, deal with these roamers, deal with these defenders who are playing aggressive. So now they have to go off of really just gun skill, taking fights. Riot's gonna walk down Laundry, looking to take a fight, and somebody maybe unaware of his presence. On the big tower stage, you saw somebody, I believe it was maybe the mute of Badger, playing a position you wouldn't expect. He's actually going to start aggressing towards the big tower stairs. He's going to T2 for the moment, and maybe actually rotate towards that Laundry side, getting calls from his team, knowing that they're going to push that Laundry freezer side.
Yeah, going for a late flank here could be very impactful, but might be leaving your teammate out to dry if you're not careful. Looks like Tracken will actually, on Achieve, be the first one to begin to make this push happen. You combine that with TPA pushing from Laundry, and you're trying to get this crossfire going, but it is going to be shut down, at least at first. Both Tracken and Riot will quickly answer. Here comes that flank, though. Badger nearly possibly saving the round here for Incontrol, because now Serve is stuck in the closet, and 10 seconds are all that Achieve have to work with. Long angle for the shotgun, and that is not going to pay off for him. Riot and Tracken will clean it up in the final few seconds, and Achieve will find a way to bring that round back, defying expectations a little bit in the end, brute forcing their way in the site, and it will work for them.
I will say, because of the fact that Incontrol had used a lot of utility on that, roam, playing kitchen, playing security, there weren't shields, there weren't magnets, there weren't really ADSs to help them when it came to that push through freezer, through Laundry. So there were no shields to allow you to play that rotate and rotate inside of Laundry towards storage. There wasn't a shield inside of highway to play that angle in the freezer. So at that point, it was just kind of Incontrol taking fights straight up against Achieve. And we could see, just because Achieve weren't great at clearing the roam, they're still great at taking fights and winning those gunfights. And they won most of those gunfights, pretty every single one, until at least I think it was one kill here and there, maybe for the defense that put them close. But it still is great that Achieve would win those gunfights. And, Badger going for that flank, was it a good one? He's still got to pick to even up to 2, but in the end, it kind of maybe it was more sense to have him on site to take that fight, to have, a 5v4 rather than a 4v4 on site.
That's one of those tough questions, right? Where you look back, hindsight 2020, we say maybe he should have been on the site, but especially when you're dealing with a Laundry and freezer approach, there really isn't that many places you can theoretically just sit on the bomb site to stop that push. There are only so many spots that you can have staffed and just trying to hold when you don't have, like you said, Benny, when you don't have those deployable shields to play around. You don't have those ADSs, those Wamai magnets, those mute jammers, the utility that you normally would have if you don't go for such an extended roam. So that's one of those questions that I'm sure they'll continue to debate as they try to adapt and work their way forward in these next few defenses. We're not going to see basement again, though. They're going to adapt by just switching up the bomb site completely. They're going to head up here to dorms as their next site of choice.
Well, we'll see what they do here for Achieve. What is their gameplay on this top 4? Dunny playing the orange this time. Well, not an opera we see very often. Maybe looking to hold big tower, and the question will be, does he return back to site through that meeting hatch later on? But again, this is a roam once again from Achieve, playing below, maybe have a C4 on site, but looking to take control. Achieve starting off trying to take control of that game's wall, trying to get opened up to start us off, to maybe give them that first angle into sight, and from there depart, trade other angle elsewhere. But MX Reaper once again starting us off with a kill. 3 rounds in a row he's gotten the opening pick.
3 for 3 so far, but Incontrol have not been able to win all of those rounds, of course, or at least that second one that we just fall to Achieve. So they'll still have to keep things tidy, and MX Reaper will likely still have to contribute another frag or 2. He'll be playing downstairs for now, and he'll step up and maybe look to get aggressive. He saw somebody dart upstairs, but that's not going to be able to, he won't be able to work with that. He won't be able to support his teammate either. Badger, who will fall as well. So even things out in a 4v4. Great job from Achieve to quickly, or at least quick enough, neutralize the man advantage that Incontrol had secured. And so now they can continue to set up this site and look to go for an eventual execute. You already have TPA up in trophy. You've got that game's breach open, and well, now you're going to start swinging on this bomb site and getting some frags going. Riot gets one, TPA gets another. It's just Reaper and Serve left alone, and Reaper isn't even in the best position. His feet are going to be exposed on the site, and Riot will take him out. Serve will get one before everything is said and done, but a very good attack coming out from Achieve, and what a way to play this top floor. Great job from them, and that's 2 rounds for them in a row.
What a round indeed. Reaper once again in the opening pick, but then he sees his friend get killed on the armory stairs, and from Achieve, it was mainly that trophy games wall push, games breach push from the side of Achieve. They go for those picks, and more than anything, it wasn't even more control at that point. It was just picks going in the way of Achieve. There were members of In Control just peeking out, taking fights, and again and again, Achieve are winning them in this round. So even if Achieve aren't making these crazy strat plays, their gun skill wise just stopping the aggression from In Control again and again in these last 2 rounds compared to the first round. First round, not so much, but in the past 2 rounds, they've done great in just stopping the aggression and winning gunfights straight out against In Control. And maybe In Control at this point need to back off on some of these plays, back off some of that aggression. Hard to say. We'll see what they do this time as they're going to replay that top floor.
Right, it's hard to know exactly, what are the changes In Control need to make. There are a couple, right? You could, like you said, Benny, maybe back off a little bit and focus on the site a little more. It could be maybe the complete opposite. Maybe get more aggressive, and instead of just having Reaper on the solo roam, especially on this top floor bomb site, maybe have someone to support him. At least for this round, Reaper will be, on an aggressive operator. He'll have that MX4 Storm. He'll have the fragging potential, but he won't be on the Aruni anymore. He'll be on the Alibi, and he'll throw a couple of those holograms down on the site to maybe help with whatever on-site hold that In Control are looking to do. Reaper himself will not be on the site, but he won't be too far afield on the main stairs right now, looking to contest these players as they work their way in this main door.
Well, 2 air jabs go out, and he'll see 2. He'll shoot the drone. He'll shoot one of the air jabs too. Pre-fire, making sure someone pre-fires him back, but he's getting pre-fire through the armored window. And so far, In Control are looking to extend out. So rather than play back, they're looking to play aggressively instead, and that aggression is met with a response. Morocco with a fish pick onto Badger. There goes Romai early, and those discs won't be of help later on in the round. MX Reaper is now put in his position. He's playing trophy for the moment. Is there a member to play beside him, though? Because those members come through the hallway, coming from bedroom. There's too many angles from the hole. He's going to have to back off and come back towards site.
Achieve, now it's their turn to get this opening pick. Not something they're accustomed to. They've only done that. This is the 3rd time they've done it all series, but question remains, what are they going to do with it? We've seen how they can get aggressive and they just decide to push the site when they feel they have an opportunity, and well, maybe that opportunity is now. The one difficulty they're going to have is this game's wall, because unlike last time, it's not double reinforced. You've got an opening, you've got an Aruni gate, and you've got a deployable shield also facing this direction. So some pressure from below, that's going to be Achieve's job here. And while it might work initially in forcing that player off the shield, that is going to mean attention is diverted from elsewhere. Dunny and Reaper are both allowed to step up and get a kill, swinging the advantage in favor of defense yet again.
Well, it looks like now Riot will go help out Morocco. He's having trouble pushing through into Master because of that shield you talked about. He's going to push through towards Trophy. Pre-fire some of these angles opened up by the defense. And now members of Chiva trying to push this Attic angle as well. They can take control Attic. They can try and circumvent some of this pressure onto the game as well. Twizzler with a kill on the Reaper, stopping his reign of terror and allowing them to start pushing through into Attic. Tak has a great angle through the softball, but he's also scared behind him. He's been flashed. Still has a shield in hand though, so he's still protected from Morocco's push. At this point, just members trying to push through these angles from Achieve, and so far they're being stopped at least with gunfire and some utility.
Well, if Morocco walks in, he knows there's a crossfire pre-established and knows it would be probably a terrible idea. So he's going to pivot right now, at least over to the trophy side. Supported by Twizzler, who's working his way in from Attic, and Riot from Big Window. And you've got a couple of options here, and you've got a pretty lethal crossfire on this site. Tak will be on the losing end of that crossfire. Riot will finish things off, and Serve, while he gets one, is taken down from behind. Morocco stepping up and going big. It is Achieve who have turned the tide and now have 3 rounds in a row.
3 rounds indeed. And like you said, we talked about before, do you get aggressive or do you pull back? In instance, In Control try to get aggressive. They try to open up angles, and it was good for the early mid round. We saw Dunny and MX Reaper get 2 picks to give them the lead for a little bit. But as time goes on, as the defense pull back, it was then Achieve who then take control. They start having people with big window, people through attic, people through games, and they start constricting on the defense, finding angles, finding when people from In Control are either rotating or when they're exposing themselves, and Achieve are capitalizing on those moments, getting those picks, getting those kills, and slowly getting on site, leaving it in that point. It was a 1v3 for one player, try and bring it back after other members of the team are getting caught off rotates, caught off movement in the site. So good job from Achieve. They have 3-1 now, looking to make maybe a 5-1 half, a 4-2 half.
I mean, on the attacking side, they have already done their job and then some. Really looking good, and much like In Control and their mid map dominance on Cafe, we really are getting a clear picture as to why Achieve picked this map. They clearly have these attacks down, and well, they haven't necessarily been the cleanest attacks of all time, and they've had a little bit of difficulty dealing with a player here or there, especially Reaper on the entry, who is now 10-0 on the series, by the way, on the entry. Still, Achieve are winning out these rounds, and that's what matters. Even in the last round, they were down in a 3v4, and they managed to close it out anyway, staying composed, staying patient, taking the time to get some intel when other teams may just rush into the site in an effort to just get that man advantage back and do so clumsily. These rounds haven't been perfect, but they've been clean enough to stop In Control and to prevent In Control from going on another run like they did on Cafe. I like what Achieve are doing right now, and all they've got to do is continue it here on Meeting, where In Control are going next on defense after they've failed to really find a bomb site they're comfortable with in the last 3 rounds.
That's their first try for this one. The only one they've won was that kitchen dining defense. And that was really because how aggressive they got and what Achieve were just kind of caught off guard after pushing small tower. But we'll see so far. When it comes to defense, when it comes to opening the site up for the attack, they can just, try and open up that meeting wall, push towards site and get a plant down maybe, as long as you can, bait out some utility, bait out the C4s, bait out the indirect denial, and then also deny that hatch inside of attic. Of course, you see In Control opening up holes to try and play that attic angle as Tax looking to destroy, looking to play, sees someone pushing towards that green hall, and Twizzler's going to make it up ult here to try and contest this attic to make sure nobody plays that hatch. Tax is only really playing close though when it comes to this meeting play, so if they were to go for straight for sight, what will Achieve, what will In Control do at that point to try and stop them? What other direct denial they have? It's otherwise just C4s, maybe throw a C4 through that hatch downstairs to E-box.
I mean, we could see that kind of play, but I mean, In Control knows that once attic control has been forfeit, I mean, site is going to be pressured very soon after, and you've got to be careful about that. Tak cannot simply just sit here and hope to get something done. I mean, he'll try to get an impact trick going, and it'll actually work quite well. So he'll deal with the majority of those X-Kairos pellets, and that's going to force Achieve into a little bit of an uncomfortable spot, considering Morocco has now expended all of them. It's going to force Twizzler to use that breaching torch and try to get something going from there, but Achieve may just turn to what they've been doing exceptionally well the last 3 rounds, just getting kills. TPA will do that. Now he'll fall to track in his teammate who was trying to pre-fire that angle, but Morocco will thankfully recover a little bit and take down Badger.
Attack elsewhere, it's holding on site, takes out Morocco, and he's trying to stay alive inside a meeting for as long as possible to help his team out. It's a 3v3. It's still even up. There's still time for In Control to bring him this well. It's even, or maybe you can just win the round out. But MX Reaper elsewhere, there's a Control. This is the fight you need. He takes out Riot. It's down to Track and Twizzler, both on the big tower side. I think Reaper's upstairs trying to take control of attic to push them out, to be that, maybe that hammer on the anvil to put Achieve down. But Twizzler puts down Reaper instead, gives them control. Tracken tries to push through, but it's a long aim from Class 2. What a shot from Tracken. Twizzler also takes out Tak, and it's Achieve to win another round to put them 4-1 in the lead.
What a round from Achieve, especially in that 2v3, because they were in a really awkward spot, and you could see it, and even In Control knew that. Because when you attack Meeting, you don't actually have to control attic, you just have to have somebody watching attic to make sure that no In Control defender can retake that position. But when you're in a 2v3, and you still have to push the site, you don't have the manpower, or at least theoretically, you shouldn't have the manpower to apply site pressure and deal with attic at the same time. In Control, suspecting that, tried to put somebody up there and tried to go for a little bit of an attic retake, maybe play the hatch, but Achieve saw through that very quickly, putting somebody upstairs, dealing with that player. And then actually staffing the hatch and getting the kill he needed. Not to mention Track and hit an incredible shot all the way, through that split wall into Classroom, I believe it was. There was another defender trying to swing him from there, at least from Z Hall. A couple of impressive shots, some really good decision making in those few moments from Achieve, definitely not from In Control. And that is their 4th round, not only on Oregon Attack, but is their 4th round in a row. They've also finally broken the rhythm of In Control getting these opening picks. It's been 2 Achieve opening picks, now 2 rounds in a row. And the momentum firmly in their hand, the confidence firmly in their grasp. I don't know what In Control can do to counter this right now because they're on defense. They haven't found a bomb site that they can defend, and they're just kind of floundering at this point.
Well, this was the one bomb site they did win, but that was based off of some aggression, some plays that maybe you can't technically maybe replicate when it comes to the site, knowing that Achieve at this point, they're aware of how aggressive they can be on the site. So they're going for a different play. You see members from Achieve going towards Big Tower, going towards clearing this top floor, and maybe going for a kitchen take instead. Just, clear out those defenders on site, push on the kitchen to get that plant down. Tax upstairs, server's now with them as well. So rather than going for small tower and pushing towards shower, pushing towards a dining plant, they could be going for upstairs, try and clear out those members upstairs, and then have that vertical pressure on the players inside of kitchen. As you know, they're towards setting up that play for later on for Green Hall, set up to make sure they can push into kitchen later on and just clear out any kind of adjacent angles on top of it.
Well, now as meeting control has been secured, it looks like Achieve will be looking to approach this bomb site from the opposite side compared to the last round. We're not seeing a small tower direct approach. Instead, taking maybe more of a riskier approach and trying to take more map control and contest here with this In Control defense. Achieve are trying to just barrel their way in from the kitchen side instead. Now, In Control, they know this now, and they know that this vertical control is being contested. They know that these players upstairs are going to be under threat in just a moment, and they're going to support that the best they can. A great C4 from Dunny, and a great opening pick this time for In Control, shutting down TPA, who, while has been effective in a couple of rounds, has also been relatively quiet on Oregon as well. And now with that, Achieve know that they need to either get a move on this top floor or eventually give up on this clear, because sooner or later you won't have the time and you won't have the manpower. This nade could be big as it'll work its way towards Tack, but it's not going to be successful. Reaper as well. He'll step up and get a kill onto Morocco, now making Achieve, putting them into the uncomfortable position. Now Twiz will answer. Good kill onto Reaper there. And that is a good way to bring things back, but still Achieve on the back foot.
One member looks like tracking going through Z, takes out Tack in a bit of a flanky play. He knows that someone was playing Reaper was playing Classroom, so he plays off of that, pushes into Z, trying to take control of security for his team. Dunny's here to stop that, and it looks like actually he's going to back off, and they're looking to maybe open up that wall from meeting into kitchen, but tracking once again, just making sure nobody can play aggressive through here, make sure nobody flanks later on when they go for this push. But actually, yeah, maybe they're actually rotating towards a dining take instead. But that's where the members of In Control are waiting. Donnie with some shots, he misses some crucial shots on to Tracken. Serve elsewhere there will take out Twizzler. Donnie will finish off Tracken. Now it's down to just one member of Achieve. It's Riot in a 1v2 with an LMG in hand, but no time available, and Serve will swing as soon as he takes out that BP, and In Control will take their second round of the half. 4-2 half to end it.
Well, I would say recovering the half of that round, but I mean, not quite. It's still 4-2 in terms of the attacking side, but at least that's something for In Control. They can remember what it's like to win a round, I suppose you could say. And maybe they can go to their half with a little bit more confidence working for them. We're not seeing Tack step up much like Tack was able to do on that last map. We are seeing Reaper, though, go pretty crazy so far. 7 kills to his name, 3 of those on the opener. And, well, he's going to have to continue that on the attacking side if In Control stand any chance, because Achieve, they've shown that they can attack on Oregon. And generally, that is what is going to win you this map, this defensive-sided map. A great way to start for Achieve. Great way to send a message here and see if they can take this one back and maybe send this one to map 3. Villa is our decider. So that's what we'll end up if Achieve can continue the success here and not let In Control make the comeback.
Definitely, yeah. Maybe both teams will just have a dominating side on their map picks, and then we go on to the third map to see who can do better on Villa. That could be the case here. And we'll see what happens here as Control will do that first attack, and it looks like Achieve are taking out, something out of the books of In Control, looking to maybe set up upstairs and do a roam similar to In Control and just waste their time and make sure. But even I say that actually on that site, they still won. That Chief actually won that site despite wasting quite a bit of time and getting picks on that roam. So this will go the same way for In Control. Hard to say, but we'll see what they can do here. They're reinforcing meeting, reinforcing inside of kitchen, and they're gonna play for the roam. And well, it depends. Is In Control going to even tackle the roam, or are they gonna maybe try and just bypass it and go straight to site? Reaper is playing the Jackal though. That's a nice tool to have to deal with some of that aggression, as Dunny just jumps straight in a small tower, and he's looking to take a fight early in this round.
Well, TPA will actually be the one doing a little bit of droning instead of at least this In Control attack, trying to figure out where this attack is making their entry point into the building. He'll maybe identify a couple of players over on that small tower side, and well, he'll give the cue to Twizzler. Hey, staff these white stairs. Try to keep an eye out on this showers corridor. See where any player is coming from. You do have one. Tack is going to be that initial entry. You've got Dunny as well, who's already worked his way up towards that kitchen doorway. But Twizzler is going to be wary of that. He knows he's revealed his position, and he knows he's got a lot of defensive support on this roam, so he doesn't have to get too aggressive. Speaking of trying to play a little bit more passively, TPA gets cut off as he rotates away, and Twizzler will also be cut down as well. So In Control, also on the attack, they'll start things off well. 5v3 in this round.
Maybe attack on the defense is, maybe he's not a great time on defense, but on attack so far, he started us off early with 2 picks of his own to bring this round In Control in their favor at least. And so far now, with that roam cleared, now they can go to work and see what is the execute going to be. Are they going to go for the laundry freezer take we saw from Achieve that they won the round on just based on gun skill? Because there was no real, there was no utility for In Control to use on their defense. But Morocco getting aggressive, knowing that they have to make a play here. But the drone's in perfect spot. Reaper will play full off the intel, get that pick on a Morocco. Now it's a 2v5 for Achieve. Tracking and Ryan have to go overtime in this round and try and bring it back and win them up and bring them 5 of 2. But so far, they still have something to go off of.
Tracken knows where this push is coming from, knows where he needs to be focused on. Same thing for Riot. They have a good idea of where In Control are approaching from, but it's a 5v2. No matter how much info you have, well, you're not going to be able to do much with it. Reaper and Serve make quick work of those final 2 defenders, and In Control, they start off their half with a flawless round. Way to kick things off on the attack.
I was say we were scared for In Control because of the fact that they're on the attack, and like you said, attacks that would really define you on Oregon. Well, that's a defining round from In Control. They clear that roam well. Tack getting 2 picks to liven his stats up in this next half on the attack of Zofia, using that LMG to good use. And then from there, they just deal with players systematically. Just a shot from Reaper. They knew the players inside the closet. Just pre-fire straight, just intel again. We saw Intel really do well on their cafe. I wasn't sure if they're gonna bring it here on Oregon, but so far that first round looks like they're still having a great Intel game. But maybe we'll keep up on these halves though. We go to Kids Dorm for Achieve's next defense.
Yeah, basement didn't go their way, so only we can expect them to head to this top 4, not bringing out the unexpected first pick of dining like In Control did on their half. Going with something a little bit more expected. Now, we saw from both teams on the defense so far, we've seen a lot of effort and utility put into pretty substantial roams and extensions, right? I mean, look at this. We've got a double Goyo Vulcan shield here in Z, one facing the showers hall and that double door, the other facing main lobby and garage. So a lot of effort being put into the extensions. This one, not designed to waste time, more so designed to deny the plant. You put somebody like Riot down by those shields with a C4. You could put Morocco down there too. He's also got a C4. You use these castle barricades to support you, and well, you've got a lot of possibility at denying that bomb when the attackers try to put that down. Not a setup I don't think I've seen ever. So I'm interested to see exactly how this works.
I've definitely seen players in security and kitchen, but I've never seen them play in Z inside a meeting as well. You see they've reinforced the meeting walls as well. So there's quite a bit put here by Achieve to just hold this bottom floor for as long as possible. Like I said, they maybe throw a C4 and deny the plant later on if they go straight for site, if they don't really try to clear this roam. But it looks like we'll see hefty, how the intel game goes for In Control, and if they can still keep calm and be able to diffuse this kind of roam. Because like we saw from Cafe, there are times where In Control seemed like they were lost when it came to early attacks, and this is still early in the attacks. Can they still figure out what to do, how to work around this roam or to defuse it and deal with it? But it looks like Badger will go to work on the attic, and maybe they'll just bypass it and go straight for site. The serve is opening up, making sure he can deal with the mute jammers on this game's wall, and they can open it up. And looks like they are just trying to just walk by and go straight to site.
Well, Twizzler will continue his position here in meeting, and with that, he'll try to apply some pressure towards the tower stairs, some pressure towards attic if In Control wants to walk in, but he's not going to pay enough attention to Reaper, who sneaks in from behind. That is a very well-placed smoke, and then Riot will just get an RNG lucky headshot through the wall. Hey, great kill and great way to respond, but really the play from Reaper, that's what we should be applauding here. Great job smoking off those Goyo shields, knowing that he had to cover that angle if he wanted to sneak in through split and sneak into meeting. He did that. He got the kill onto the castle, but he was traded out in response. But now In Control, with maybe some of that meeting threat dealt with, they can push up attic and they can take firm control of pit and actually start pressuring out this bomb site. Tak has done so already up into kids and looking to get aggressive. Serve will get one, but Tak is taken down in response. Good kill there from Morocco, but Serve on another now. All from this game's breach. He'll walk in and get his head taken clean off, but Dunny and Badger are there with 2 quick trades and In Control. Now it's their turn on the attacking side, and they are showing that, well, maybe we are in for a bit of an attacker side at Oregon. That's 2 rounds in a row, Benny. The fact that the Chief are going back to basement again suggests that maybe they're not super comfortable with, you know, those tertiary bomb sites, that meeting kitchen, that dining kitchen. They want to avoid that for now. And so even though we're tied, and even though Achieve started off the first half with a very strong performance, kind of feels like Achieve are on the back foot a little bit, Benny.
Yeah, I think at this point, Achieve are just trying to worm things. They got to figure things out now because they're maybe grasping for straws and what they can do next. It looks like now, rather than having the full roam like they did the first time they defended the site, they're going back for that normal defense, having a shield elbow, having a shield inside of pillar, and just holding these downstairs positions and let In Control do their, just do their job, take that top floor and see them go to work and see if they can deal with these normal defenses, having these shields, these places like barrel, inside of elbow, inside of pillar. So far, otherwise, well, TP is upstairs from Mo, but I'm not sure how aggressive Achieve will be, because it seems like so far on this aggressive plays on these strats that are different than normal, they're being punished time and time again. So they got to figure out, maybe play a default strat will do better for them than playing something crazy.
At this point, they're just trying to change up their strategy in every way they can, Benny, right? I mean, they're trying to approach it from different ways. They're not going to change the bomb site per se, but they will change their play style, and like you said, change the way they're going to set this up. And you can just see, our wonderful blue outlines. We can know that only 1 player, maybe 2, are extended even somewhat off the bomb site for now, but they're just at the top of staircases here. They're not actually taking fights or challenging. You already have these players rotating back downstairs, rotating away. So it is going to be a full 5-man on-site defense for Achieve. In Control in their attack, they will quickly identify the map is clear, and maybe minute and a half, they'll work their way into their default attacking positions and decide where they want to approach from, and whether that's going to be another laundry freezer push like we've seen, or something more geared up towards the north side. At least we won't be able to make that decision quite yet, but right now, within 60 seconds, they know they've got map control, and that is often the biggest job attackers really have to worry about right as the round begins.
Yep, just being efficient, getting that map control if you know it's clear, making sure nobody's roaming, and then opening hatches up and really figuring out what your attack is. And then in this kind of default strat though, it's going to be difficult for that laundry freezer take. You usually see teams, if they go for this laundry freezer take, they need to use smokes, they need to use flashes in the way, not only to steal the shields, but also try and cut off these crossfires that people have, whether it be behind the bomb chassis, playing those laundry machines off towards freezer. These are common positions for defenders to play, and usually it's difficult for attackers to walk in because they have those positions, they have those angles on the lock, waiting for that push. So at this point, it may be better for In Control to go for that, that back power, so big tower take, instead go for pillar. So it looks like tracking, we'll see 1 coming down that pillar, but of course there also are their own obstacles on this side too when it comes to shields and pillar. The shields by barrels. Servers can open this wall up and looking to maybe try and clear out these players, push out the player inside of elbow, and make sure they can push towards pillars. It looks like Twiz will be the first one up. They haven't late reinforced it either.
Well, In Control, they've got a couple of options here, and it seems that they're going to be pushing for this north side like we've said, but they've still got players extended on the other side of the map, and now they've got to group up and make a decision because they're starting to get picked off here. TPA and Twizzler will both get one. Riot as well will get another. Serve gets a kill in response, but now he finds himself alone, joined by Reaper in a 2 versus 4 situation. Good kill again down the gold hall. TPA will be shut down, and tracking on low HP, this is definitely doable for In Control, especially now that Reaper gets another tracking will take down Serve finally. And so it's Reaper on 100 HP versus a low HP Tracken and Morocco. Only one toxic canister left, but unfortunately, looks like Reaper will be caught looking the other way, and Tracken from the prone angle will be able to take him out in no time. So Achieve, they finally find a site they can defend. They'll go to basement, even though it was their second time. This time, it pays off.
And then let's go back to the basics. Just play it like you usually expect. And from there, it just leaves In Control in the driver's seat. But they have to drive it well. They have to drive the car in an efficient way, which they did at first. They got that they had that, opening round or early round where they just take control, they open the hatches up, and then they have to lead into and execute. And from there, it was a bit costly walking into elbow. You had members also in the big tower stairs. You had members from In Control also pushing, towards that laundry side as well. Reaper making his entry from that freezer side. So it seemed like In Control wanted to try and do like a full side from every single different angle just to make sure they can throw, Achieve off, try to, create a distraction, cause them to move their forces left and right and have, a flank later on. But in the end, Achieve had members on every single angle, and for the most part, they held every single angle for the most part very well, except for that elbow where there was a trade with Badger and Twizzler. Well, no, Twizzler gets a trade off to kill and Badger, but otherwise, they won most other fights, really. So it really, in the end, is just maybe just playing the basics, which you need to do, because otherwise, that's the reason why Oregon can be so defender side, because you can play default and still win those rounds pretty heavily.
Yeah, good to see adjustments when they actually pay off. Shows that, teams and their adaptability, it's an important element of any team, especially, here in T3 where we see a lot of, different play styles, a lot of teams trialing new things, new stacks, trying to get together. Maybe we're going to see a frag heavy team, more of a, default style, more passive team, like you said, Benny. And seeing how teams adapt is so important. And, Achieve their adaptation, especially in that last round, to play a little bit more passively, play a little bit more default. It paid off for them. And I expect to see that continue here as they look to close out things on the defense. They move that lead. They find that lead once again. It's going to be a 5-4 lead for them. 1 round gap they've now secured. And of course, they'll be looking to extend that to 2 on this upstairs bomb site of dorms. Nade from Dunny coming up, but Morocco, wow, 1 HP remaining. Wow. He was sitting on that hatch trying to hide by the reinforcement, suspecting that there was an explosive coming from below, but he will not have a lot of HP to fend off the rest of this attack.
Neither will some other people like TPA and also Riot taking heavy damage elsewhere in that top floor. And like we said before, like you're saying, maybe playing passive is more a thing for Achieve, and they're pulling back the defense. Not going to be playing for that Z hole they had before. Going to be playing more for that top floor, but they are extending Torch Trophy towards Armory for the moment. But for In Control, it seems like the intent is just for that big window control, maybe just taking control downstairs and trying to grenade these defenders from below. As Serve is the buck, he can go into the kitchen and start tearing the floor up, try and push some of those defenders inside of kitchen, or not say kids, inside of kids' dorms, out of their positions, out of their angles, to allow for that attic approach maybe later on to go well for them. As it looks like they're just downstairs. Yeah, Serve is just using that skeleton to full use and opening up the floor and see if somebody can catch someone from Achieve off guard.
Tracken is still waiting to spot someone out from this attack down below. He'll find himself getting skeleton keyed out of position, but Serve actually had no idea Tracken was there, so nearly lost his head down below, but he will also narrowly escape. Kind of everyone's scrambling around on the defensive and the attacking side right now. In Control, trying to position for an eventual push. Achieve trying to avoid all of the angles that In Control are doing a brilliant job of establishing from down below, from up top. Really no position safe anymore for this defense to reside, and they know it. They're trying to find these frags and get themselves out of the positional hole they're in right now. Not necessarily a fragging hole. I mean, we have all 10 players in this lobby with 40 seconds left. First time I think we've said that so far in this entire series, but yet no team has yet to actually strike.
Well, you say that Twizzler will strike first onto Tack, and it looks like it's going to be a white big window push. Badger makes his entry onto TPA. And so what really, members are going down left and right, but it's still In Control. What is the game plan? It looks like white is going to be the game plan for these 2 members walking up the stairs. The flank from Serve doesn't go well. Riot will take him down. Riot takes 2. Dunny takes a Riot return, though. They're making way into games. Reaper's walking right into kids, though. Will they expect it? No. Tracking goes down to 1v1 for Twizzler. But only 10 seconds left. He just got to stay alive. And Reaper has no clue where he is. And it's Twizzler to win the fight. And Achieve will take round 10, put themselves on match point.
Yeah, that's well played from Achieve. It was a messy round. I mean, that's going to happen every time when you've got 10 players left. And the execute hasn't even happened yet. But they did a damn good job of staying alive. A really impressive job of staying alive on that bomb site when, like I said, In Control were doing a phenomenal job of approaching from below. We see that a lot with not necessarily the recent meta, but it's come in the recent months. This big window, white stairs kind of pressure. You get a buck down below. You try to work your way in below kids, in kitchen, just tearing up the floor as much as you can and forcing those defenders in kids to get the heck out of there. Because once you do that, where are they going to move? They can move into dorms, games, or back into attic. If they're in dorms, you've got big window and you've got white stairs pressure to kill them. Great. And if they're in games, theoretically, they shouldn't be able to deny that plant. But Achieve, despite all of the pressure being applied from below, they didn't give up the positions entirely. They played close on that attic rotate. We saw that from Twizzler in the last round. They made sure to always be staffing an angle that they knew In Control was going to be pushing. And I think defying the odds in those last few seconds and pulling out the round, impressive stuff for them. They will secure that 2-round lead, and they will be the first team to move ahead to match point.
And here we are. This could be the end. We'll go towards a site we saw won by In Control in their defense, that dining kitchen site. They've won it. That's the only site they won on their defense for In Control. Let's see if Achieve can do quite the same, as they're looking to have an actual small tower hold. Last time, that first round we saw from In Control, they didn't actually have a small tower hold. They just played aggressive when it came to that control from Achieve when they were walking into small tower. But you can already see there's ADSs, there's frost mats, there's shields in place for tracking the play. It looks like he's playing his below angle like we've seen from other teams when you play that, that you have a shield outside of dining. You can have a hole up towards that position to deny that one angle into small tower, that one window. And then because the frost mats on the other window, if someone were to jump in and try and take out tracking on the other angle, they would have to shoot the frost mat first, allowing for tracking to kill them. So it's kind of this play from Achieve, and we'll see if In Control can actually figure a way to deal with this, or if they're just going to rotate, maybe just deal with the rope upstairs by dorms instead.
Tracking now feeling a lot of pressure now from all sides. That's what In Control need to do, and they've got to do it as quick as humanly possible. A minute now burned off the clock. Tracking still has a shield, a couple of ADSs, and a bear trap to support him. That C4, however, will not be very effective. There goes a deployable shield. Tracking on the swing. He actually doesn't get it. It is Dunny who gets a kill in response onto Twizzler, but it was Twizzler from up top in T3. Well played, the Frost, making the trek all the way across the map, and it's going to pay off. Now Tracking, there's a good shot onto Serve in this position, still being held. In Control in a lot of trouble if they let this happen.
Well, Dunny will make the play in. He'll actually be able to jump in. But TPA, that exact angle I was talking about, he takes out Badger behind Dunny. Down goes Tracking, finally playing that small tower position. But what cost to the attack? The attacks are down to 3 members trying to deal with the small tower play. And really at this point, In Control doesn't have much control besides small tower. And we're down to the last minute. What intel, what really utility do they have to push themselves towards an execute? At this point, maybe better just try and go for kills, but we'll see with them. Looks like Dunny has some good intel on maybe a member inside of kitchen. Reaper is pushing over towards his white stairs window, but so far I'm pretty sure Achieve at this point can just bunker down and wait, but never mind. Rocco gets aggressive, maybe not even aggressive, just rotating around, doesn't notice Reaper on the window. He'll go down. It's just Dunny and Reaper in a 2v2 though, tying it up. 45 seconds. They're going to take the time they can and try and figure out where the last 2 defenders are.
They've got 40 seconds, and that is ample time. They've got 3 drones as well, Benny. They've got a lot to work with here, but they still haven't found TPA. They're not going to bother droning him out, and they're going to get taken down as a result. It's all up to Dunny. He'll find one. Now, he seems to know exactly where Riot is positioned. Dunny also has the case in his pocket and really could go for this plant here or indeed hunt for this frag. Looks like he'll choose the latter, getting a couple of bullets on him, but now losing out on that engagement. Looks like he'll use that Finka boost to try to get back up to a reasonable amount of HP, but hunting for that frag, well, that means one thing. He's wasted the time he needed to put that bomb on the floor. He tried to hunt for it in those last few seconds, and Achieve will not let that happen. TPA, not able to make things happen in the end, but Achieve stepping up, making it work, taking their own map, and tying us up at 1-1. At least we're not going crazy and nothing out of the ordinary is happening, but sometimes you like to mix it up.
I want out of the annoying. When they banned Muke the other day, that was cool.
Yeah, I love when we see target bans as well, but these teams not quite familiar with themselves enough yet to make those target bans or to target a specific player to take off right. like something of the Aruni if you just hate Reaper and you just want to take the Roni out of his hands. I don't know. Just get creative at some point because the entry from Reaper has been
Attackers
out
need
of
to
control.
locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, because in the end, like if they don't show something crazy, well, hopefully next week when they play the decider matchup, wins this will show something crazy because you're going to be playing against Arrow Rise, bar any different changes. But they're going to play against Arrow Rise, and they can't be playing those defaults against a team like Arrow Rise. So we'll see though. We're on Aviator games first for the defense of Achieve, and we'll see if this trend of attacker-sided, maps keeps going on Villa. Incontrol first start us off. You're gonna see how they attack this site, and if they're gonna go for that, maybe go for that study side, go for the main stairs, or are they gonna go for the master side and push towards going for that, that planting behind the skull door or the vault door.
Well, we'll have the Aviator and game setup going down here, and yeah, we'll have the Kaid from Twizzler. We'll just see him struggling with exactly where he wants to get that Electro Claw in that typical spot behind the bomb chassis. But as far as the rest of this lineup goes, nothing too crazy. Like you said, not seeing anything much out of the ordinary here. We will see an extension, at least a bit of a roam over towards that trophy and statuary side. Another aspect of an Aviator in games defense that we see all too often, right? Teams want to delay these attackers from getting into the building and clearing out this north side. And generally, you can do that for a good bit of time. They're going to use some reinforcements to support that position, but they don't want to risk their lives, and smartly so. Only 40 seconds off the clock, and Achieve are going to back off. Kraken is going to duck down below, and TPA is going to work his way back to the site, and he'll take up a position in Vault.
Surprisingly, too, they've already backed off, but in that essence, Incontrol still used the Excalibur from Serve to open up that tri-wall from bedroom to statuary. So a bit of a waste of Excalibur you may need later on. Probably what she was going for in that roam. So that's kind of a way, wasting some utility. Didn't waste a whole lot of time, but utility is a big one here. So it comes to, opening walls up, and they're only bringing one hard breacher in Serve. So the Zex Kairos are important. You're gonna probably need them later on to open up that single panel into Aviator to, cut off any rotates if it gets to that point, or maybe open up Vault as well. Reaper having some drones downstairs, seeing if anybody from Achievers playing for a C4 later on, and nobody's down there. Incontrol pushing forward, and Achievers at this point are all pushed on site, just waiting for Incontrol to make the move. What is the game plan from them? They're going for that classical take so far. Is anybody going to rotate towards study, or are they maybe going for Vault?
TPA just going prone here. Doesn't have a C4, so that's not going to be his mission, but he does have an impact, and that is what he's going to try to do. Try to get these X-Kairos pellets off the wall. First impact misses, but the second will land. Good thing, though, for Serve is he's got more of where that came from. But an Electro Claw, actually, will work its way towards the wall. Good throw from Twizzler, and that means a nade is going to have to come through, an impact from the Zofia or something.
I don't think you can't grenade that because it's on the other side of the wall inside of games.
True.
So
they're going to have a bit of trouble here.
Yeah.
They're going to have much more trouble now that Kraken is swinging out in the classical hall. Dunny is taken down. Badger will fall. A great use of the shield here on the maps table from Riot. Serve still on the 90. Repel will try to get something going, but unable to do so again, and Incontrol forced to scramble around.
Yeah, this is kind of a one-sided take. Nobody rotating towards the other side, towards study to try and, make a different play. Because if you're going to go for that play behind the vault door, you need to have someone open up the Aviator wall. But again, it's reinforced. It's going to be electrified though, so that's quite ahead. Riot taking heavy shots from maybe through that angle from 90. They opened up that wall. Great shot from Riot behind the shield. He takes out one. TPA getting aggressive too, but the shield is still up. Such a huge boon for the defense. The fact that Incontrol couldn't destroy that utility that helps them outplay that utility is going to be a flawless round from Achieve. And then in the end, this is time runs out anyway for Achieve. They'll win the round heavily in their favor to start us off here on Villa.
It really felt like that round ended when they couldn't get the vault wall open. I mean, Incontrol from that point, they froze and they just took gunfights, right? They're like, oh gosh, we can't get this wall open. That's all but confirmed, as he was astutely pointed out, Benny. And they just decided to swing on the Aviator door, and then they died. They tried to swing on the classical door and push into games, and they died. And then it was just go over to study, try to get something going from outside, and Achieve. They read into that. They shut it down, and they opened up with a very successful defensive round. That attack just never really stood a chance once that wall was denied. That kind of happens sometimes when you put so much focus into one position, when the defenders just kind of outclass you and just outthink you in terms of the utility they're going to throw at that position. Sometimes you have to make a last-minute pivot on the fly and just go crazy and hunt for some frags. And unfortunately for Incontrol, they just couldn't do that in time.
Yeah, especially with the operators of the ball. You think with the Buck, they were joining downstairs too. You think they maybe go downstairs and use some of that skeleton key to use to try and open up walls. At least maybe they can't really get rid of that one electrical because they probably couldn't figure where it was, but they could have maybe even gotten that electrical open towards that study side and then open up that single wall, get rid of the shield. And again, it's that utility, it's that having that, game decisions, make those decisions on the fly is always difficult, I guess. And from our side, we can figure things out obviously from a top-down view, but I guess in the game, making those last-minute decisions is very difficult for teams. But we'll go on to Sturtry's trophy statuary next for Achieve. We're going to see how Incontrol do this one, because so far it seems like maybe they are stalling out. They're not really making quite the decisions they need to be when it comes to these late rounds.
We're here on trophy and stature right now. And we saw the extension on that side of the map last time, a brief one at that, but we saw one nonetheless. But we're not going to see it this time on that side because that's where the site is instead. The extension, if any, is going to be on this Aviator and game side. And yes, looks like we will see some defensive presence in Aviator, in games, and maybe in Vault itself. The first player standing in Incontrol's way, that's going to be TPA, naturally on the Malusi, playing close behind that reinforcement, looking to just swing, send a couple of bullets downrange, and apply a little bit of pressure towards this Incontrol side as much as he can. Again, with some impacts in hand, can also deny these X-Kairos pellets. Serve will know that, and will know that this is going to be likely a bit of a waiting game. He'll have to, use a couple of those X-Kairos pellets at a time, because TPA has expertly dealt with the majority of those pellets as they came down towards the wall. But now that 60 seconds have been wasted, TPA no longer has any impacts, and nobody else on the side of Achieve does. They're going to back off and no longer contest this Aviator and game side of the map.
That was a good Twitch drone, though. Twitch drone got both electric claws from Twizzler that were both applied to that tri-wall. So they should be able to get this wall open, well, barring the fact that they may have not many X-Kairos left because they wasted quite a few of them on this Aviator wall. But now they've wasted utility. They've gained some time as well. They're going to back off. Ooh, Dunny with the great intel onto 1C4 pre-placed, pushing into Boar from the side of Achieve. But so far, somebody from Achieve, or from Incontrol, needs to go towards the bedroom side, open up this wall, and start getting rid of some of these rotates. Start trying to cut off these defenders from moving around towards the Astro side. For the moment, it looks like Incontrol will do that, using that Twitch drone to good use to get rid of this utility for later on.
Well, now Achieve know that there's a good bit of pressure building, so they've got to be careful about exactly where it's coming from. Most of that still geared up from that red stairs side of things, from that board window as well. They're trying to pressure both statuary and trophy simultaneously, and, well, a good bit of pressure towards the master windows as well will prove quite effective. Serve on the opener, Dunny with a follow-up, Badger seconds that onto TPA, and just like that, it's Tracken and Morocco who have to pull out some kind of miracle here. Tracken, or, yeah, caught out in the open. Morocco will get two, denying the plant there. Actually, Reaper will still stick that one in the corner, but as much of a valiant effort as it was, that was something that was unlikely to happen in the 1 versus 5. Nearly got the kill there, but it was quickly denied. And Incontrol, after a very messy start, will come right back in round 2, and they'll take a win.
That was chaos, really. That just kind of kicked off all of a sudden. 0 to 100. 1 minute I was just waiting for the play, and next thing you know, they start pinching out the players in Master. So on the Master balcony, they're pre-firing from that couch's red stair landing position, and then any player there was just getting caught out. They start pushing on the site. They take care of the people on board that were playing as well, back of trophy. And it just seemed like they were just winning every single gunfight pointing towards site, leaving it to a 2v5. And even that member that was playing trophy that tried to push out of there, he gets cut off from bricks. And it just leaves one person playing split to try and take a fight. He takes one player out, but he swings on attack, and attack just finishes him off. And really, not a whole lot, but more than anything, just the fact that Incontrol, that Twitch drone was working great to just deal with utility. On top of the fact that in the end, sure, they always rotate towards bedroom, and I'm not sure if they had the intel, but they played that bedroom so well just playing on the balcony. So either intel or just drone work from Incontrol, looking good once again on this map.
Well, Achieve will make the tough decision to go to the same bomb site yet again. Something that we often mention, teams choosing to go to the same site twice after an unsuccessful defense. It's always a bit of a risk because you know that the attacking team has it down and they can attack it just fine. But at the same time, you also know, theoretically, what the mistakes you've made and how you can correct those mistakes. So Achieve opting for the latter option and hoping that, maybe they can make a couple of adjustments, whether that's going to be holding Aviator in games a little bit longer or not exposing themselves to the master windows in those closing moments when it comes to that execute. Whatever those adjustments may be, we're going to see how they can try to bounce back on this trophy and statuary side. At least in terms of adjustments, we are actually seeing Incontrol make some adjustments of their own, not opting to contest head on that extension onto the Aviator and game side. Instead, just pushing straight into this first floor and going for a little pressure down below.
Well, last time they used a Twitch to get rid of the Electro Claws and get rid of the gadgetry on the side of Achieve. This time they're bringing the Buck instead. Reaper will drop that, but Brackens, he's catches Badger jumping into those pantry stairs, and that's where droning, I talk about maybe their intel was good last round, but maybe not so much. They don't drone and figure out that there's one player in the basement of track and walking around taking fights, but he's already made his way back to Astro Stairs. He gets that pick, pulls back towards site, gives the team of Achieve the lead. Now they're going to wait to see what the plan is from Control. That Buck of Reaper is still going to work though and deal with those Electric Claws on the wall, depending on Twizzler is holding him in his hand or if he's going to be placing the ball early. Great shot from Rocco on attack though to start them off, and now they're in the lead. 2-member lead, 3 members in the lead already.
Wow, what a way to just shut down the attack before he could even get in the building. I mean, look at Serb. He's still outside on the master balcony, and he is quickly down. Reaper is nowhere close to the Habana to actually get up there and assist her. Now, it's possible he could take the time and rotate around, but instead, it looks like he will opt for just taking a couple of gunfights and going for these swings. TPA, he, however, is going to catch Reaper out from behind. A couple of shots. Reaper wasn't even paying attention, looking the other way. So Achieve will not only adjust and win the round, but they will take it in a flawless fashion.
Yeah, I guess maybe I cursed them saying that their intel was good because they had no intel on tracking in the basement, leading to Badger's death jumping into pantry stairs. And on top of that, we saw members from Incontrol dying left and right. We'll be coming through that, that master games. We saw them pushing through the closet, and it was just Achieve fighting through those holes, shooting through bathrooms, shooting through Brick's door, and just winning fight after fight after fight. And in the end, it just seems like Incontrol, sure, they had a plan there. They were looking to take control of that bottom floor and use that vertical control with the Buck. But in the end, they just didn't have the intel they needed to deal with the roamers, or in the end, just even know where these people were peeking from Chief on the Chief side. So we go back to Aviator Games for another try. They won the last one. We'll see if they can win it once again.
Well, yeah, we're back to where they've started. Last time, Incontrol on their approach struggled pretty much the entire way, right, Ben? I mean, we highlighted that maybe they initially tried to push in, clear that extension out. They did. They worked their way up to the 90 hall, but then the attack basically lived and died on the vault wall. And so even if Incontrol want to go for that approach again, we're going to have to see them have a backup plan. Have some sort of contingency that if this defense from Achieve can outsmart them on that wall yet again, that they have another plan that they can approach from that isn't going to be set up at the very last minute, that they can maybe work on establishing during all of that pressure towards the vault wall so that they have another option if they need to fall back to it. Now, we'll have to wait a while to see exactly what those options will be. For now, it seems that we will have a little bit of an entry towards the bottom floor, as it looks like Reaper will be setting that one up. And well, Badger droning this one out, looks like they will be eager to clear out anybody who might be lurking down below. Now, TPA, he is going for the tried and true sit in a corner rat roam style play. He's gone unnoticed for now. Question is, for how long can he remain undetected?
Well, you say that. There's one member of the Aruni getting pinged out tracking. He'll get pinged. He'll back off towards red stairs. He'll take some shots, but he'll stay alive. And no, TPA, he was unnoticed, I thought, but Tack will take his head off as he pre-fires towards the main double door. Riot next on the main stairs, but should allow for Incontrol to take that library living room, use that vertical pressure, try and deal with these, shields, anything on the side of Achieve that last time really played to their denying of that one side take from Control side. So Wizard looking through the holes, seeing if anybody's gonna walk up main stairs, tracking though will take out Dunny. As looks like Dunny may have been just playing that study balcony a bit too ambitiously.
Well, now in an even 4v4, Incontrol knows they can slow things down a little bit. I mean, obviously, with that opening pick, they'd like to have kept that player alive, but they know this one is still doable, still even, and even though there's a lot of utility devoted to main stairs, it looks like Incontrol have it in their well, in their minds to kind of just brute force this. A nice nade going straight up above, dealing with Morocco. One more player to deal with on these stairs is going to be Riot. Very aggressive for him to hold this position so late in the round, but he'll use Twizzler as a distraction, and he'll get that kill from above. But yeah, Riot is not able to do much from that odd extended position on the main stairs. So Achieve still on the back foot. They started on the back foot, and they remain on the back foot with 50 seconds to play.
Well, so far, it looks like Reaper is trying to tear those floorboards from below them and try and find a member, or at least push them off these positions and push them positions where Incontrol can cut them off and get those kills. Traken's backed off the red stairs, maybe to make a flank later on, but it leaves Twizzler by himself on site. He doesn't want to leave Twizzler by himself as they push through the classical hallway. Great pings for Achieve. So Traken with great information, pushing up. There's the flank watch there. No, nobody has any flank watch there. Badger goes down. Traken will get one pick, and it looks like Reaper is trying to play off of it. Down goes one. So Reaper and Serve now have to try and play off of this as they're pushing through. Twizzler, great shot in the Serve. They will pick up Badger, but it's low health for every single member. Traken, great shots lying down, and left second one for him as Achieve will take round 4.
Achieve really doing a good job in that 2v3 in the closing moments to pull that one out. Everyone was so low HP, but especially those last two defenders, one shot. Both of them had to go flawless in those gunfights, and even then they had to take some risks in order to bring that one back. We saw a massive risk swinging around into study onto those players building up in the classical hall, especially on low HP. That is a bold move. Attack. They'll be looking to go forward into what they know will now be this either a living room library or a kitchen and dining defense. We know it's going to be the kitchen and dining site. They're going to need to know how they want to approach this and figure out what it is they've been doing wrong in the last few rounds, right? And they haven't been doing a ton wrong, but they just haven't been able to close out rounds when it looks like they might have an edge, especially in that last round. And I hate to belabor the point, but they held a pretty strong advantage. They started with the opening pick, and they couldn't really use it to their advantage because they still had a lot of utility to clear out. That's fine. But then they had another kill in response, and they actually held the advantage yet again. At that point, in a 3v2 with two very low HP defenders, you got to just keep things tidy, right? You've got to keep things relatively calm, and you've got to be aware that the defense has to make an aggressive move. Achieve did that, and that's how they caught Incontrol off guard. So on this attack, especially one that depends so heavily on top floor map control and map control as a whole, you gotta be aware of the flanks, and you gotta be aware of a cheeky defender hiding in a corner who wants to make his impact felt.
Unfortunately, TPA last round couldn't really do that as a cheeky defender at the beginning. We'll see if he can, maybe he's doing it this time, but like you said, control is important here. We need to see what Incontrol, what are they going to, I feel like I hate how their name is Incontrol sometimes because they talk about control, but we'll see. It looks like they're going to try and open up the wall. But Traken's there. He's just sitting there, just shooting off those X-Skyros. And again, it seems like they're only bringing one heart breacher. So now they're down to 6 X-Skyros pellets. They didn't drone in pantry. They didn't know Traken was there. So a lack of intel, just losing all of those X-Skyros pellets could prove to be an issue if they're going to go for a playthrough laundry. If they're going to make that playthrough pantry later on. It looks like there is something served. Drawing downstairs. Doesn't see TPA actually. And I think someone's outside of that barrel as well, going for it. Like, yeah, Reaper's looking to play downstairs. If they don't know TPA is downstairs, Reaper could get caught off guard.
Yeah, TPA still sneaking around. Reaper, he's gonna just tuck Talon and run. He doesn't want to deal with any unknown, doesn't have a teammate to immediately support him, doesn't want to maybe waste another drone on that area. So shifting things up and maybe looking to support his teams on that top floor, naturally, because he is the sledge after all, and so vertical control is generally a sledge's forte. We saw C4 go off there, I think, again, to deny those X-Kairos pellets. Now that Serve has none, they've all been successfully burned away. That is an incredibly good use of utility from this defense, and even still, you still have 2 impacts in TPA's hand, 2 impacts in Riot's hand, and 2 more C4s. Really well played from Achieve so far in terms of simple utility denial.
And there's only a minute and 10 seconds to go, and what has Incontrol achieved here? That's his name sometimes, he's like killing me. But looks like they all have control of Bicycle. They have control of maybe the red hallway pushing towards China. So there is some control for them, but really, it's not a lot to go off of. They're gonna walk in Twizzler with a first pick onto Badger, who was pushing through that red hallway. So while they're pushing through, they're not aware of these flanks, not aware of members. Reaper though will trade back on track and on site, and then push the way through. TP, does he know one's right there? Yes, he does. He swings. Reaper still wins the fight. Riot Elsewhere goes down to serve. It's down to Twizzler and Morocco, who have to come back to site and try and deal with these attackers who have no full control. With no men on board, those air jabs will fully, signal where they're coming from. C4 open up and play. Lying down is Reaper, who loses the fight, but Dunny takes out Morocco. Now it's done just Twizzler on low HP. He loses the fight to Dunny, and In Control will take a round back.
Well, despite the challenges that In Control had with the utility and just getting that pantry wall open and just starting the round in the way that it looked like they wanted to start it, they honestly completely turned what we saw as the trebling pattern emerging on its head. Rather than like not being able to close out a round that they should have won, this was them closing out a round that they shouldn't have won. It was Achieve maybe giving up a little bit of edge in those last few seconds when In Control, they were out of options, Benny. I mean, they had almost nothing to do but walk in a doorway. And they were allowed to do that, weren't they? I mean, it started off with the Sledge just kind of walking in through China, I believe he did.
Yep.
Just kind of walking into the middle of kitchen and nobody really cared. Like, it was a couple of moments where In Control just kind of walked in, one player able to catch Achieve off guard, and then from that point, able to leverage that bit of surprise and then use it from everywhere. They could then walk into Memo. They could then walk in just through that laundry door. They could then pressure from just about everywhere. And I think In Control played that really well. Don't get me wrong. They used those last few seconds and just kind of fragged out. But Achieve, they were startlingly unaware that In Control had only the one option and the walk-in option. And, well, Achieve let that happen.
Yeah, especially when Morocco got that first pick onto Badger, pushing from Bicycle in. That should have been a warning sign to Achieve that In Control at that point just had to walk through doorways. You need to come back to site and deny that. Unfortunately, from Achieve, they didn't quite figure that out, allowing for all people, it's Reaper of all people, to let you walk in the door. That's quite not a person you want to let in the building, let into the site for you. So, well, we are gone to what is the last round for the defense of Achieve, looking to go 4-2 in their half. Back to that trophy statuary site where it's been a mix of, it's been a win for Achieve, but it's also been a win for In Control in the past. So let's see what they this time, if they can win it out once more.
So oddly enough, the round where In Control decided to avoid the extension and go to the site more directly was the round that Achieve won by a country mile. When In Control actually cleared this extension out entirely, that's when they found the most success. And that's why I'm not surprised to see them doing that yet again. They want to just challenge into this defense head on, and by doing so, waste utility, maybe waste a couple of defenders if they can get a kill or two here, or at least, force them to rotate back and just take control from this side. That it worked for them last time, and while normally I would suggest maybe avoiding it because there's so much utility that the defense wants you to push into, it worked. So if it ain't broke, why fix it?
Exactly. Well, this time, though, TP won't be able to retreat, and he'll get taken out by MX Reaper. And really, that's interesting. The first time we had this site and they had that roam work well is because they were able to impact trick those Skyros. But unfortunately, a bit too late and maybe misplaced impact from TP will allow him to swing into study, get that pick through that single wall, or at least through the door, because he has to either go through the wall or the doorway. And that pushes one kill off, C4 off from tracking into Aviator. Won't get a kill. No intel to really go off. It just goes off his game sense there. And In Control, not only have they cleared the roam, but they've got a kill off of it too. So now at this point, we need to see them rotate towards that master side. And last time too, the reason they won the round two was especially the fact that that Twitch drone from Reaper did so much work in dealing with the gadgets on site. Will Achieve, I guess will MX Reaper have that same success with that Twitch drone?
Well, that's the question, right? He's been very good on it in the past. We'll see it walk its way in. I do believe that was the Twitch drone that Twizzler may have just shot out there. Either way, Reaper's got another, so he'll still be droning out regardless. Looks like that one is going to be shot out, though, because he has expended that drone, and he'll be forced to just, use the regular drone he's got in his pocket there. Actually, there's a swing from Tracken. He'll take down Serve, but Badger responds in kind, and Reaper will, use the F2. Doesn't need a Twitch drone for that. He'll take care of Twizzler just as well. Morocco now, it's his turn to get aggressive, and the SMG-11 will work wonders for him. Riot now trying to shut down a push from the Boar side, and it will work. There goes Tack. Morocco now, C4 a little bit late, and a good spray from Dunny will take care of him just as well. At last player standing is Riot from this defense. In control, searching for that 3-3 half, and it's all but confirmed unless Riot with low HP can pull out a miracle. Dunny, nice shot all the way from Master. Not going to allow that to happen. We've got a 3-3 half on map 3. Looks like this one is going to be just as competitive as we could ever want.
That's what you want to see. Nothing too crazy. Both teams going head to head. And we see these strats being changed up. They're changing the way they do things. And despite the time, this time they weren't able to get rid of the electric cloud. They weren't able to open the wall even into statuary. It still worked in the favor of In Control. They get that first pick onto the roamer of TPA, playing by Aviator. They push forward for that play into, going for trophy statuary from that north to south side. And sure, they weren't able to get the wall open, but still getting the entry into Master was huge there. Both Badger and I believe Serve jump into bedroom. One pushes from jump in the closet, one jumps through the bedroom window. Sure, Tracking gets one, but he gets refragged. Then with that Master Control, they can leverage different angles for the attack there. And you saw, even though Dunny had, well, not Dunny, Reaper didn't have any Twitch drones to work off of, he had the F2 in hand, getting frags on his team, getting those kills. And really, they had, even though there wasn't really opening walls, the fact they still can get those kills is huge for In Control. We got to see if Achieve can achieve the same thing as we go to Trophy Statuary first for In Control's defense.
Yeah, switching up the half here, it's going to be interesting to see if the same, back and forth pattern continues. It did look like Achieve, was held that edge for a while on defense. I mean, they took the first round, they held a 3-1 lead, but In Control did what they do best. They pulled it back. They made that comeback. And, well, naturally, we sit here all tied up at 3. So it may just come down to, who can chain more rounds together in a row, who can snag the momentum away from their opponents, because both of these teams seem to be incredibly evenly matched. And to remind everybody, this is an elimination game. We're on map 3. The loser will no longer have a spot in this first split of SCS 6. The winner will move ahead to that decider match in Group A, where the winner of that will move on to the playoffs. That'll be Aerial Arise they play against in that decider after Aerial lost to Two-Face yesterday. So a lot to look forward to for both of these teams, but also there is a lot to fear. You do not want to be one of these teams getting out in the group stage, losing out so early, and, well, the conclusion of Villa will give us our answer.
Yep. They saw a 3-3 half there. Both teams teetering on the edge to winning this map right now. We're going to see if, one of these teams can pull out something different now they've switched halves and they've switched sides. Can they pull out something different to throw their teams off? And like, Jay-Z was saying, if they can pull the momentum to the side, pull that, mental fortitude on their side, and see if they can, throw their enemies off, as we're looking to see Achieve push downstairs. This trophy statuary defense, they're going to take control of that bottom floor. Look to maybe open the floor up, because there's no Kaid coming out from In Control compared to what we saw from Achieve. It's always the mute jammers. So this guy, open the floor from below, destroy those mute jammers, and then they can open the wall up with the Hibana of Morocco. So TP will do just that. He'll destroy the first one, actually. Goes down. So now Morocco should no problem shooting his Excaliburs off and cutting off any rotates from the defenders going between, through split from Astro's side. As Reaper's going to push up. Maybe he sees the drones. As he sees the Twitch drone come through, he'll destroy it. Make sure they can't, he's seen how well he can do with those Twitch drones. On his side, he's going to make sure that the enemy team can't do that either.
Well, on their defense, Achieve, what they were so focused on was denying those X-Kairos pellets, and In Control, they've kind of done the exact opposite. Minimal hard breach denial, no effort to impact trick. I mean, Reaper's got the cam, doesn't have those impacts, and we don't see any impacts, only the one C4. So just focused on holding down this site, and they don't mind if the wall gets opened up here or there. And I think that's a smart decision, right? They're not committing too much utility to that and focusing that utility elsewhere.
I'd say that too, but there's so many long angles now with it open though too. Like, sure, they're not really aware, but now it's up to gunfights, up to them, up to In Control to win some of these fights. Though I will say Achieve doesn't have much control up below, actually Serve taking damage from below at TPA. He was already low HP and he goes down to maybe an impact from TPA from below. Twizzler will finish Badger off in the kill, and now it's down to just really they're pushing on the site. Reaper will take one kill on the Riot. TP with the kill, and Reaper will finish him off and a refrag. And he'll see Tracking will finish off Serve, who already get hit by an impact and pick back up, as Morocco's going to throw flashes down to Dunny and Tack. And with full control of these long angles, Dunny and Tack have to play aggressively now and take fights and see if he can win them against these last 4 attackers.
Yeah, Chief have effectively bullied both Dunny and Tack just off the site. They've forced them just slowly and methodically off the site completely. And by doing so, now they've gotten the bomb down. Now all they have to do is just sit behind a wall and just play the post plant. Tracken, who won't sit behind a wall, he'll just sit on the floor. Morocco, holding a long angle of his own, will take down one. And then there, Tack is not much longer for the world, as TPA will be the one credited with that kill. A great attack there from Achieve overall, getting every single one of those steps on that long checklist done, pressuring from below, taking care of that mute jammer, pressuring from master, getting that wall open. And like you said, Benny, while the utility saved by letting the wall get open with those Kairos pellets is nice, sure, you now have so many more angles to worry about, and Incontrol just could not win a fight on any of those angles, it seemed.
I definitely agree with that. It just seemed like, yeah, sure, you save some utility, but having those walls open, just having that far long range all the way towards trophy, and then on top of that, having TPA below, just, impacting the floor, he pushes on Astro, nobody from, and because of that extension, the members of the defense are coming back into the angles already opened up by the attack that they're watching for. So TPA has full control of Astro stairs, pushes on to Astro, takes that control, so nobody's there from the defense for whatever reason. And then from there, they can leverage that to fights against the defense that are trying to return through board, return from couch into the site. And that's that point. It's just Achieve winning gunfights again and again, having the longer scopes and the better guns to do so with. So, well, we go on to Incontrol. They're doing another site. They're going to Aviator Games this time. And it looks like they're going to be roaming downstairs. Compared to what we saw from Achieve, they didn't really roam downstairs much at all. At least for site.
Right. I mean, at least Achieve were focused more on extensions on the top floor, right? They were on Aviator and Games, they extended over toward Trophy and Statuary, and vice versa. They didn't do a lot of legitimate extensions downstairs with utility and everything. They did just more of a couple of roamers, but Incontrol this time, they want to support those roamers with that utility. You've got some Vulcan shields, some reinforcements, several castle barricades, and if Dunny is going to be holding it down, you've got a very valuable C4, likely in part what this setup is designed for. Because if Achieve don't want to go through the painstaking process of clearing Dunny and all of this utility out, they run the risk of having that plant denied in the last second by a nice C4 from beneath.
Even before that, if they just walk towards the vault, and you can just, I've seen so many times that people just hear those footsteps right by a vault and just C4 that position, because it's a lot of chokeholds here on Villa, especially coming towards Aviator Games. Different angles, classical hallway, going towards Skull. There's a lot of different choke points you can easily see for members of the attack coming through because you expect them to walk through. Intel, you can play up intel from defenders who are playing by the position. So, well, looks like so far that Twitch drone will destroy a couple things for Reaper. He's going to pre-fire towards board, but nobody from Achieve has really done anything just yet. And really, it looks like none of them are really going for that downstairs. They're not going to play for it. So a C4 could be on somebody's name. A Reaper, though, once again with the opening pick onto Morocco. A hard breacher, the only hard breacher brought by the attack, like we saw from Incontrol. That could be a vital play for Achieve.
Yeah, that's a fantastic opener for the defensive side. You've lost those X-Kairos pellets. Like you said, Benny, you've lost your only hard breach resource on a site that often depends on your ability to open up a couple more of these angles, right? Normally, you might have Morocco go rappel to the 90 window that we just saw Riot open up with that Gone 6, but without Morocco, somebody else is going to have to staff that position, and you're going to have to find another way to approach the site other than that vault wall. Now, positioning in vault is going to be incredibly easy for Incontrol, and Achieve know that, and they know they've got to come up with another option on this attack. It looks like it's going to be just a typical Aviator approach. Twizzler, great coverage, will take down Reaper, who was a little bit too eager to get that swing for his own good. But now, with 50 seconds, Achieve are going to have to contend with these Shumikas from Badger. They're not going to have to contend with Tack or the Jaeger for much longer. Another great kill from Tracken to open things up even more.
It was looking good because they had no X-Kairos for heart breaching, but members of Incontrol are now taking fights, peeking into the attackers, and the attackers are winning every single one of those fights. Dunny goes on kill, but again, serve goes down to Riot. Now with control of Study, they can try to leverage that control even farther. Dunny's downstairs now with a C4 in his hand. TPA, because they can just run by the speaking grenades. Tracken kills TPA. Riot downs Dunny, though, is now down just one member in Badger, and he's getting shot from two different directions. Achieve will take another round in their favor on the attack, and it's going pretty well in their favor so far.
Yeah, that's 2 in a row, and I'm not going to get ahead of ourselves here because we've seen a lot of these teams, just make a comeback kind of out of nowhere. We've seen it, in both of these maps, we've seen one team start off strong and the other team just defy expectations and then start off strong right back. So we'll see how things continue for In Control. But yeah, Benny, that is 2 very successful rounds in a row for Achieve. We have seen multiple team kills from Tracken now. I think, like TPA said in all chat, that is the second time that Tracken has killed TPA in a very similar situation. But it didn't seem to matter in this round because Achieve were able to pull it out regardless. They were able to isolate those final few defenders and get those few kills that they needed. But like you said, Benny, I will admit I was a little bit perplexed why In Control tried to get so aggressive after getting that kill onto the Hibana. It's possible they didn't know it was the Hibana who died. I mean, Morocco has been very consistent on the Hibana and should have seen her. It's pretty likely they knew. And if they did, it's even more confusing as to why we saw several players take gunfights that were far too aggressive for their own good. It started with Reaper on the Wamai, who challenged onto Study, I believe it was.
Yep.
Or no, he challenged onto the aviator door.
Yeah, red stairs. Yeah.
And then I think we saw one player. I think it was Serve possibly, who got just kind of who ran into Study itself and tried to get a bit too aggressive and then kind of got caught in a crossfire. I'm not sure if it was Serve, but regardless, somebody got stuck in Study when they shouldn't have because they took the Hibana down. All they had to do was just anchor, use those Shumikas from the Tachanka, and just lock down the site as long as possible.
Yeah, and especially to the player as well. There's another player in Classical who had the shield as well, and they had a shield to favor to hold Classical, but even though they had a shield, they still peaked Tracking and lost that fight. So again, these are positions you have that are bunkered down in your advantage, but then you discard the advantage and you go for fights. It's puzzling, perplexing. Why would you do this? But you know, hey, well, 5-3 in the favor of Achieve. Achieve will take those fights and they'll take them willingly if you're going to throw them away. We'll see. We go to Dining and Kitchen for next slate for In Control, and we're looking to see a horizontal roam from In Control. I'm not sure if anybody's vertically roaming for the moment, but it looks like Achieve are going to face forward towards this horizontal roam and try to deal with Dunny.
Right, a horizontal roam, but also very focused on this horizontal roam clear. And right off the bat, it will go very well. Riot will claim the opener onto Reaper, who has not been able to go as crazy as he has in the past. I mean, especially the first map success. We haven't seen anything like the 19 kills he was able to find. Oh, TPA. Ooh. Nice shot there onto Dunny. Just honestly holding left click on the LMG is all you really got to do. But great intel work from Achieve to know where the Kapkan was positioned. And now, In Control, they're kind of getting desperate. They know they're in a tough spot in this 3v5. Badger knows he's in a weird spot on the map itself, and he's got to get aggressive and just hope that a couple of kills can find the way back towards this team, and it looks like it will work at least for one. Serve on the swing will take down TPA. He'll get flashed out and forced to fall back, and Badger now wants to get aggressive as well.
He's taking heavy fire from living room, but he's knowing the positions. But he's also getting shot in the side, it seems like. But he'll swing Memorial. Tracking will take him down. And Twizzler walks into a Frostman. Unfortunately, double matted that closet. So now at this point, it's still Serve and Tack in a 2v3. Or 2v, technically 3v3, because Twizzler isn't getting brought up by that Finka charge either, actually. Maybe there's now a range to it, but Serve... Actually, I don't know. Can you bring people back up if they're in a Frostman?
Probably not in a bear trap. Yeah,
probably not a bear trap. I think that's true. Yeah. So Serve at this point, he's on low HP. Tack elsewhere, looking to maybe make a play. And if they do push Memorial and try to pick up Twizzler as he's waiting for a call, but it's still 45 seconds. Still quite a lot of time for Achieve to take this slow and figure things out.
And they have the man advantage after all. And the question is, are they going to get up Twizzler? And do they want to fight in that 4v2? Or do you think they're comfortable enough in the 3v2 to make things happen? I think it's going to be the 3v2 unless Morocco wants to take a brief detour. It looks like he's only going to find his grave as Tack is playing above and is fragging out. Serve as well, despite being on incredibly low HP, will be very effective, and this just turned into a very tough 1v1. Tack from above has eyes on the diffuser, but loses Tracking at the last moment. A spray through the wall won't be effective. This diffuser is going to go down, and now Tack's position is known. Tracking looks like he wants to take this fight. He'll get overly aggressive. He wanted to catch Tack by surprise, but it's not going to pay off, and the Jaeger will win that fight, and In Control will do more than stay alive. They'll finally find a bomb site they can win and narrow the margin to just one round.
This is where In Control come back now? Is it the same thing as always?
Hey, it could happen.
It could happen. Hey, well, that round was just, again, looked great for the side of Achieve. They found multiple early picks for their team. They had... Well, there was one trade back, but for the most part, it was a 4v2 by the mid round. And by that point, it was looking great. But again, Intel is the issue. They didn't quite know where Serve was. Serve was playing inside, just kind of dotting around between China, between kitchen and dining, trying to find picks, and he was doing well in that position. Tack upstairs had a long angle from above into Memorial, and they didn't quite know where he was there. So when he gets that pick in the person diffuser, that's huge. And Twizzler, unfortunately, jumps into a frost mat. And because of time, because of not intel, they didn't want to pick up Twizzler, not knowing where these defenders were. So they let him unfortunately bleed out in that frost mat. And from there, to see it was just kind of tumbling down due to a lack of intel, due to just kind of pushing in sight, kind of solo here and there from the side of Achieve.
Right, I mean, that last one from Achieve, it started off so well, right? I mean, then the bear trap kind of slowed things down, but even with one player falling in the bear trap, we highlighted that they still have the advantage, right? And they didn't need to, I don't think they had to slow things down as much as they did. Especially considering they just, like you said, Benny, kind of just walked in one at a time after that. It raises kind of a little bit of alarm here because, like, oh, what are you doing sitting around for a minute? Like, what are you exactly trying to get done? Are you trying to get some intel? Are you trying to reposition your attackers? I don't think they did either. They were just maybe waiting for Incontrol to swing them, and those last two defenders were a little bit smarter than that. Hard to know exactly what they were thinking there because that kind of delay, well, it's not ideal. And it looks like they're trying to remedy any delay issues by getting into the building right away in round number 10. TPA approaching from down below, looking to apply more vertical pressure up towards Trophy and Statuary like he did before.
Yeah, this time the big thing for this round was the fact that really Incontrol were playing a passive defense, not really going for utility to stop any kind of breach, letting them take control of master bedroom, letting them open the wall up, and that kind of was the issue though. But this time Incontrol are playing a different way. You see open holes from that tri-wall into master, you see an open hole towards that jump in from the closet. So it looks like it's Incontrol this time are trying to resist as much as possible, stop them taking master, stop them opening up this wall, and make sure they don't run into that same situation where they're gated out of their own defense, of their own site. As you see so far, it looks like maybe at this point Achieve looking to try and take control Astro and trying to flank these players who are at the forefront of stopping that master control.
Well, Dunny knows a lot of pressure's coming his way. Still eye trained on this closet window, but now knows that, well, the bathroom window has also been dealt with, so he'll back off. There goes the Vulcan shield. That's going to be TPA from below, I believe, who actually was the one to deal with that. Could have been Riot on the window as well, had a nade cooked up. Either way, they've got the job done, and that is going to allow them access to bathroom now, and access to what could be an eventual crossfire if they get somebody on that Astro window. Focus still remains on the bedroom for now, as they try to now force off another player sitting on that deployable shield. That one over on that master door, but Morocco, instead of focusing on that triple wall, will focus on just getting into bathroom and looking for some gunfights.
Now TPA could be a man, could be a game changer here as he walks up Astro stairs, but looks like, yeah, Achieve has full control. Riot with a kill on a Serve, who was playing Astro, I believe. That should allow TPA now to bring it up. Twizzler with his own kill onto Reaper, and the gunfights are going once again in the favor of Achieve. Badger will fight one back for his team. First kill for his team in favor, but still the man advantage is in Achieve's favor for the moment. Smokes are trying to push these players off these positions. Tack with a great kill, but on the rotate, TPA will stop Badger from trying to get away from that Astro repel.
Tack now swinging around, looking for a couple of these kills, knows that Achieve, they're once again on the precipice of taking control of this site rather quickly, but the one thing they do not have is, one, a lot of time, and two, the diffuser still remains out of pocket, close in the eye of this defense, but it looks like Traken will finally recover that, assisted by TPA, forcing Dunny back, and now getting a good flick there. That's TPA. Traken as well will get the kill at the same time, and Achieve will regain that 2-round lead, and they will move ahead to match point.
And again, that round just coming down to gunfights. There was a lot of, set up towards that master side from Incontrol. They're trying to hold off and stop Achieve from taking quick control of master and opening the wall like they did that first time when they played that site, which they did hold off for a little bit. But even if they did that, they wasted some time, wasted some utility. It was still Achieve to take that final control of bathroom and win gunfight after gunfight to put them in the lead. And that's from that point, Incontrol, they get aggressive. They take fights. What they did, they won some fights, they won some back, but it was still in the end. You saw if TPA cuts off Badger. We saw them take control Astro from that point. And from that point on, they just had two great angles from Astro, from Bricks onto the last two players. They ended right there and take match point. And now we go on aviator games once again for Incontrol, but the only one they've won so far is Dining Kitchen.
Right, I mean, it's been tough for them to find a site that they want to defend. In fact, nearly impossible, like you said. Kitchen and dining, they've only won it. They've only won it once. They've tried trophy and statuary. They've tried aviator in games. Now they're 0-2 on trophy and statuary. Unless they can win this one here, they'll be 0-2 on aviator in games as well. So now they are trying to make any and all adjustments possible on this site. They're once again bringing out the Tachanka, trying to delay as much time as possible when it comes to that entry. Bringing out the Thunderbird this time as well from Reaper, hoping that maybe that can bolster those existing positions in the site. Maybe a little bit bolster this extension as well. We can see him tucking one away over by that statuary door. So maybe they're looking to gear up and help these players who are trying to deal with anyone working their way in from the south side.
That's quite an extension too. They're dedicating not only reinforcements but castle barricades to that statuary trophy side, which we did see from Achieve. They did push from that statuary side last time, the trophy master side. They pushed in, they got the control. They actually lost them in that event when they pushed through, but they still, that was the main focus of the attack. But looks like this time, looks like they're just going to walk in. TPA taking heavy fire, just walks in. They droned out. They know there's not much control here. He pre-fires 2 members on the defense of In Control. A third one coming his way. And he's finally taken down. But Morocco with a kill of his own. It's now a 4v2 within the first 40 seconds.
Yeah, Dunny and Surf left alone here. The good thing is they've got all the plant denial they could ever want. But their teammates are gone and they are stuck. Because Achieve, all they've got to do is hunt for these frags and just get aggressive. They've isolated Dunny after all. He's kind of stuck here in 90, not even in a position to use that C4 if the bomb were to go down. So Achieve, what they should do here is probably move a little bit quicker, get on their toes, and just get a move on, because if not, they could allow Dunny to get all the way back into the site. Not only that, get aggressive. He's now relocated. He'll work his way back into Vault. He swung on Study just a moment ago. And he is eager to get aggressive because he knows even though Serve got 1 kill, they are still down 1. And to take this one back fully and to have a shot at denying a plant, they need to just fuck her up and just absolutely deny this push as it comes in. Twiz will now challenge onto Dunny. A nice nade comes in. Twizzler trying to take that fight. He'll now look towards Serve. Wins that one out with the F2, now looking for the second. Dunny knows last player standing, and Twiz makes quick work of him as well. Achieve take round 11. And they will close out our third map, another 7-4 scoreline. It is Achieve who move on to that decider. And In Control, unfortunately for them, their run in this first split of SCS 6 has concluded.